Where did you park? We parked Toy Story too, but like where you have handicap parking? I never really asked you that.
No, I don't have handicap. Because they opened the parking at 7. I was like, what the fuck? Because last time I got that open at 7:30. So, you know where the cast member lot is, right?
Yeah.
And the new bathrooms?
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's where they first start lining you up. And so they had a good maybe like 8 cars. But you know me being a little bitch, like, fuck you parking. So I parked right across from the bathrooms where that pole is.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't want nobody hitting my car on one side. So the cast member's like, what are you doing? I'm like, you're not going to pay for my car getting jacked up like you did 2 years ago. So I parked right there, dude. And they were like, I talked to the one guy that I seen before. He goes like, you guys opened up early? He goes, yeah, we were ready and we were bored. So it's like, might as well. We had a couple of cars. So yeah, I just parked right there.
I pulled right in, man. I came off because I was right behind you, you know. Because I called you. We were right behind you, and so I pulled into the lot on Harbor where I always pulled in, not the cast member entrance, the traditional entrance.
Oh,
and I pulled right in.
Catella.
No, it's on Harbor.
Oh.
Yeah.
No, you went to the old, you can go through the cast member entrance now.
It doesn't matter, man. That one's easy to get off of because of where I come.
Really?
So I turned right in. There was no other cars there. There were maybe 2 or 3 cars at the things. Empty. I parked in the first line of cars with regular parking. That wasn't the handicapped. I was that close. It took me a minute to go doot, 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 right across the thing, and just there I was. So I was like, that's the closest parking I've ever had.
Not really, anybody's still like knowing about Toy Story, and it's funny because I was we're chilling with a bunch of people, and I end up with blazing real quick, and then I was just talking to these guys, you know, because they blazed. They're like, I didn't know we can do that. I go, you can't, but you know, if you're slick. And then they're like, damn, man, we had to walk way over the parking. I'm like, where'd you park at? Oh, that big ass place way over there. I'm like, you didn't park on the other side? He goes, there's another parking. And they were like, that walk was a bitch. He goes, everybody and a lot of seniors were stopping, sitting on the bench the whole way.
Well, don't give away secrets, man. Like, I'm gonna cut that part out because I told Diggs that too. Remember, I told that Anthony. I told that to Diggs a long time ago. Don't be giving away secrets, man.
Right?
Yeah.
Hey, I'm not gonna lie, dude. Like, when I went to the Toy Story, that fucking line was long. I was like, fuck that. As soon as you go, you know, normally you go the far way and then you go far back.
Yeah.
No, it was busting the crisscrosses and everything. So I just told the lady, wheelchair. I was just, fuck that, dude. That was way too much, dude. That was ridiculous. And then the like 3 cast members didn't know what the hell they were doing and send like 2 bus loads to the far end. And that was just overcrowded. People were like, it wasn't even a straight line. You know how when you go, everybody lines up, but there's a big gap towards the wall?
Mm-hmm.
Well, everybody was lined up, pushing, trying to get in. I was like, hell fucking no. Yeah, it was pretty bad in the aftermath. But as soon as you got off, dude, just like everybody was just like, okay, run to your cars. And it was actually pretty quiet in Toy Story parking lot.
At the end?
Yeah, I got to the parking lot by like 11 o'clock.
And then what time they close now? 10?
Yeah, closed. By the time I got off of Falcon, the park just closed.
Mm-hmm. Just walk up front.
Yeah, everybody was like, Casper was like, hurry, the park's gonna close. You better get there before the time. And you say, like, and then everybody, Chewie came out, and they're like, oh shit, which one? And then half went to Chewie, half ran in the Falcon. I was laughing, dude. It was pretty crazy, yo.
That's funny. We didn't spend too much. Hey. Well, we'll get into this right now. Go ahead. Well, I'm already recording. It already started.
I was just like, who the fuck is Falcon? I was like, oh, right.
The Falcon, like the ride. So, I mean...
Like, it's funny because I don't say, like, when I went to GTA, I said, yeah, let me get a time for races. I'm like, what? And I'm like, oh, no, us Passos call us racers. I go, we don't call it Radiator Springs. And then she looks like, that makes sense. And then she laughs like, you call yourself a Paso? I'm like, born and raised. But I don't treat you guys like dicks, so I go, I'm not that Paso.
Speak for yourself, Hole.
Hey, it ain't security 1 or 2s.
Hey, that part was that part.
Old school.
That part was easy. This is the first time I've been to the park since they have, even before. they do security right there in the parking lot. So we went through security right there in the parking lot. And as soon as we got off the bus, I see this. Oh, well, when we were on the bus, but it was making a little U-turn to from Toy Story to drop you off. I noticed all the people going down the center who were coming in off a harbor, and the kids were like, "We got to do that." I'm like, "Nope, we already got security check. We're gonna go through that side right there and just walk straight in." So that part was nice. Yeah, I was getting it wasn't crazy, but it looked like your typical, what we would see from before. But we just walked straight through.
I was very shocked that all security booths were open. Like, they were all open.
Oh,
like,
in the parking lot? Yeah, because I walked all the way down.
In Harbor.
Oh, okay.
As soon as we got off the bus, I looked, and the whole row was open. And I was actually shocked because when I was on there on the 20th, you had maybe 4 only. So that was an improvement.
No, it went pretty smooth for everything that it was. So we got in there, and I guess we'll tell our tale first of what we went through, and then we'll dive into whatever else anybody wants to bring up. But I got there just about 7:30 because I got there as the parking lot had just opened. So it was already open, you say, but like we got in there, I walked right on a bus. Matter of fact, too, as soon as we got to security, we walked right on a bus. The bus was full, but it wasn't overcrowded. I think myself and I think one other guy were the only ones standing, and that's just because where we happened to go, there were 3 seats there instead of the 4, so I was the one that stood up, and then we went in. A couple people in front of us to get scanned. They give you a ticket, like the ticket's printed out, so they actually
I
gave
forgot to tell you that.
Yeah. So I scanned it on my phone. Matter of fact, I still have them in my wallet. I'm gonna take them out. But they give us a ticket, and I was like, oh, okay. So there we are. We got those.
Whatever you do on that ticket, like for me, for the DAS, I just had to go and ask, and even with it's 30 days, but yeah, I went there and it was already activated still. So whatever you use for your ticket that they give you, it is still valid as long as it's 30 days. They say.
Okay. So I'm not gonna need this ticket when I go back, am I?
Yes.
This paper ticket?
That is your ticket.
Oh, what the hell? Better hang on to these then.
But I think you can also use it in your phone. I'm keeping the paper tickets in my wallet because I went on the 17th.
Just in case.
Yeah, just in case there's an issue. But like all that stuff is still in my phone because I'm using the Disney app. So it's all there. It's just they give you that paper ticket now, and then they tell you that's your ticket for the next. Because we did the 3-day Cal thing too. That's your ticket for all 3 days. And I was
no
like,
one
all
told
right,
me that, by the way.
No one told me that.
No one told me that.
I had Phil, who was probably 125 years old, checking us in. We were the slowest line getting into Disney, and he made sure he was very thorough, and he covered all the bases. So if you need any information, Phil made sure to tell me.
So
Good
old Phil, yeah. Prior to all this, actually, at 7, we got on, Michael and I linked our tickets, and we did get Rise.
Wow.
Although it was weird because Michael had one other friend on it too, who we got in, and then all of a sudden we see, oh, you're already joined in a group. By the time we start going through the motions, and we see 2 things: we see Group 8 and we see Group 119. So that was weird. We're trying to figure out what the heck is going on. While all this is going on, Michael, I didn't tell you this, I was driving while this was going on. So I got the little thing.
Your brother was, because you were responding pretty good. I really thought, is this for driving? Because I was, my leg got messed up, so I was like, I told my lady to drive. And I was like, how is he? I'm on the 91 in the traffic, and I was like, how the hell is he? How did he call me? I was like,
well, I got Bluetooth in the truck, man. I'm not a freaking heathen. I have Bluetooth in the truck. So it was that. But I was scrolling through the thing as I was driving, because I'm just driving, reloading the screen, and then and as soon as it got in, it's only a couple of buttons pushed the same way I'd work playing with the music or the GPS. So it really wasn't that bad. But what it turned out to be was your buddy was the one that got the 8 o'clock group, and then we got the one that was 119. One of us, I still don't know who got it, but one of us did.
I did. I believe because the last time I did it with the same friend, he indicated that when you swipe, it should say that it was already claimed or something like that in the loading bar. And if you didn't see that, it'll go up real quick, and then it'll just pop out on your ticket. And when I did it, I still got something. So I'm guessing that I got yours and my friend got mine, because He was in San Diego. He had good. He's pretty good at it. He's got my web slingers and everything. So that's what I think would happen. But either way, I'm so glad you finally got that, man. And
yeah, well, I've been on it before.
Riding smooth.
Yeah, I've been on it before, and
like everybody, you could tell. Like I was hitting up my friend. He had talked to him because I didn't know he was in the park. He's like, "Hey, how'd you get rides so fast?" I was like, "Oh, I got like five people trying for me." And he's like, "Oh, everybody was doing it and waiting in line on the other side, and everybody was pissed." I was like, "Well, sucks for them."
Yeah. So Gina, when we try it for web slingers here in a couple of weeks, it works. It works.
Cool.
We did it. So just give everybody else a chance.
We I open parks because I want to be there. My anxiety dictates that I must be early to every event in my life. And so we pulled into the Pixar.
It's like an oxymoron considering it's more crowded at opening than it is any other time during the day.
You know what? It's just like I was raised.
We'll get to that in just a minute, though.
Like my parents used to say, if you're early, you're on time. If you're on time, you're late. And if you're late, don't bother showing up. And when you hear that every day for like your entire existence, it does something. So we pulled into Pixar parking at 6:58. And so I'm in the passenger seat, and I told my husband, I'm like, don't talk to me, because all he wanted was to ride Rise of the Resistance. And honestly, I didn't care at the time. Now, having ridden the ride, it is literally the best ride I've ever been on in my 43 years. But all he wanted was to drink a drink at Oga's, to build a lightsaber, and to go on Rise of the Resistance. Like, those were the three things he wanted out of Disneyland. And I was like, okay, I'm going to make this happen for you. Don't know how I'm going to do it, but I'm going to do it. I did research. I watched videos. So we're in the parking garage of Pixar waiting with 25 of our closest friends, and all of our windows are down. And I joined, and I got a group, and I started screaming like I was so excited, and I embarrassed my husband so much he rolled up all the windows. Because I was like, heck yeah! Like, I was just screaming because that's all I wanted to do. And I was thinking in my head, if I don't get this stupid boarding pass, like, I'm going to be kicking myself all day. But we did it, and I think we were 84, 89 or something. But I didn't care as long as we could get on it. But it worked, right? We were in the parking garage because I asked him, I go, where do you want to park? And he's like, I just want to go to the parking garage. And we took a wrong turn, and we ended up in the Pixar one, which I have to say I think is better than the Toy Story parking lot.
How dare you?
But I couldn't figure out, like,
There's less walking.
Funneled. Well, they have you funneled that you're going to walk on the tram route in the morning. I know that everybody's like, well, you can use the bridge. I don't even know how to find the Pixar pedestrian bridge. And in the morning, you have to go through the security like every other person. And, like, they have you funneled to kind of get there. Because, it's Disney. They're efficient.
Yeah.
And so we went through the security line. And then they're kind of the only place that you can go after that was walking the tram route. So I honestly couldn't tell you how to even find the pedestrian bridge and get over there and walk a different way because
they were
like, you're going to walk this way.
Yeah.
Do not be a free thinker.
The bridge is south.
Okay, well, I was like, I don't even know. They just, like, funneled, and we were like, okay, we're going to do it.
Walk towards the hotels, and you'll find the bridge.
Okay.
Yes. I mean, it's
I haven't even seen it or been in Pixar yet, but yeah, that's where the bridge is. It's south.
It was super easy. They parked us on the top, and then I asked because they do the preferred parking, and I was like, hey, what's the difference between, the $25 and the $40 parking? And the guy told me, he's like, listen, this early in the morning, he's like, all parking's going to be good parking. Like, just pay the $25.
Yeah.
He's like, the difference is that you get closer to, like, the elevator.
It's only the second, level.
Well, but I told him, I said, but there's no tram. So we're all going to still be walking. And he was like, yeah. And I go, oh, okay. Well, I just wanted to know the difference.
Yeah.
So they started us on the top floor of Pixar. So we were on the 6th floor or whatever it is. They just sent everyone to the top. I think they filled it from the top down. And those escalators are terrifying. They are so tall. I was like, I think I might want to take the elevator instead.
A Universal style looking down.
Oh my God.
Oh, crap.
I'm not a fan of heights unless I'm like actively moving. Like I hate Ferris wheels. I'm not a fan of standing on balconies on the whatever floor. Like no thanks. So we get up there and I'm all, this is a little tall. And everybody's like, go, go, go. Well, I can't. But Pixar was super easy. It was like, because my husband's like, I don't want to mess with the buses because he didn't want to have to wait. So we'll like, okay, we'll walk.
That early in the morning, there's no wait.
Yeah, well, we didn't, he was like, this is what I want. And I said, well, you're driving. All I'm trying to do is get these super Rise of the Resistance passes. So I'm less like nervous about web slingers. I'm like, all right, if we get it, we get it. That's cool. But Rise was like anxiety inducing.
Well, the first time you get it is like you really want to scream like a bitch.
Yeah. So a couple things. Yeah, a couple things. Pre-pandemic, when people would do that, because it was 8:00 that they opened, and so everybody would already, and you had to be scanned in already. Mm-hmm. So at 8:00, everybody's looking at their phone, and you knew what everybody was doing, trying to do that, and it was an audible. Yeah. When at 8:00 when it opened and as people got them, like it was very audible, you could tell. And all the tips and tricks are still the same, like be away from people, don't use their Wi-Fi, like all that kind of stuff was all the same. You're doing that.
I felt bad for the kids. I really did, for the ones that didn't, looking at the people. There was a guy that made a video of that. It was depressing. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh, for the kids that didn't get it?
It was dope that that people got it, but the guy he did it one video and I think it took it down. He was showing that people depressed that they didn't get it, adults and kids, and it was pretty jacked up. And that's
isn't that too bad? Well, grow up and
got another chance at noon. You got it's better now. You got another chance at noon, which you didn't have before. So people are even saying like, oh, sometimes you might have a better chance at noon than at 7. So whatever. I got a question though, and I think Michael might know the answer to this. I know they start at the top, but I don't think they go from the top down. I don't think that's how it works. I think it's the top to start with because that's the bigger flow of traffic. You can send everybody up. You just got that much more room to send people up. But I know they do start at the top, but I don't think it's like you go 6, 5, 4. I don't think that's the way that it is. I think it's mixed up a little bit. But they do mix it up so you don't have backups with the traffic coming off the 5 and all that stuff in that area. So I think that's actually what it is.
I wish every theme park was as efficient parking as Disney is. Like, Disney is just super efficient at parking, and I appreciate that about them. Because, like, if you go to Knott's or anywhere else, it's sort of just like, good luck. Yeah, there's parking somewhere, and, like, you could park wherever you want. It's a little bit more of a free-for-all, and I like how Disney is so structured in that. Maybe that's the teacher in me who likes a little bit of structure, but...
Well, I like when they tell me, because they direct you into the parking spots where they see the truck, and they're like, wait a minute. Skip a space, you park right there. I'm like, yes. Drive a big truck, skip the space, and that's exactly what the guy did. He's like, wait, nope. He moves forward. That one, okay. Because they'll park somebody in the other spot.
Any day. I'm sorry to disagree with you, Gina, but I'd rather park at Knott's any day, except for on days when it's really busy and you can't park. But if it's not busy, I'd rather park at Knott's any day because I'd rather choose my own spot and have that freedom. Like, obviously, except for the days when they have people parked, like, basically in the grass.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. They did that to me, and it was like 12:30, and the lot was already full. And they were still letting people in, And after I walked, I sat there and watched. More cars, and everybody's just driving around. I'm never doing that again.
That's my one thing, like with Knott's, is that they don't keep track of the parking spots. So like you go in and it's like, may the odds be forever in your favor as you're driving around. So like that's part of how the We Open Parks in my house came up, is because like not being able to find parking is infuriating. And so like often we go in the morning because we like to park by the at Knott's by the marketplace. Like that's my favorite, by the Ghost Rider. That's my favorite parking. I know many people like to park across the street, but I like to park over there. So I like going there early, and I get there super early to park over there. But I wish
they open up early.
They do. They open up over an hour before the park opens.
Yeah.
I don't care where I park, as long as I don't have to park over in BFE beyond the hotel.
Oh hell no! Why?
Like I did for the Halloween event. That was. too far to walk.
See, that's why Toy Story lot is a lot of all lots.
Yeah,
it's
I have
huge.
never parked. No, I take that back.
If you don't mind getting on the COVID tram.
When we did chaperoning for Disney, the bus is parked at the Toy Story lot. So I do know the Toy Story lot, but only from chaperoning and then queuing with all those kids to get over back to Disney. So the chaperones, the buses park over there. So I've never parked there on my own. I've only parked there with the school.
Yeah, under normal circumstances, Toy Story, hands down, is the best place to park. But right now, I don't want to get on that COVID bus. I wouldn't want to get on that COVID bus, so I would probably rather park at the parking structure.
I didn't have a problem with that.
Anything's better than having to get out of Jurassic parking. And anybody who knows what I mean, you know what I mean.
Michael,
working 2 years, yes, I know.
Michael sent us a picture of a couple of people who didn't have the mask on the bus, but I didn't experience that. Like they do remind you, they do tell you, they do actually, yeah, they even have masks to give you. But he sent a picture of some people without it on, and I didn't experience that. Actually, either time I was on the bus, I didn't experience that.
I think it's just stupid because I've been riding buses since the RTDs in downtown LA, and one thing is that especially when there was a sickness time back in the days, I forgot in the early 90s, all buses had to have those side windows down. So I don't know why you're blasting the fucking air condition so big and not have the windows closed, knowing the situation. That didn't make sense at all.
Because it's hot.
Yeah, but if you need circulation, I mean, I'm sorry.
Oh no, I get it.
Yeah.
It's just it's like either everybody's gonna be hot and complaining, or everybody's gonna be swimming in COVID and complaining. So I mean, they took I don't know which one's the lesser of two evils.
There's no other way unless you're gonna walk yourself, pretty much. And we've done the walk before.
Yeah, I don't like. No, the walk from Toy Story is a bit much for this guy's old legs.
Yeah, seriously. Yeah. My knee's been bugging me. I didn't want to do all that walking. There was no way.
How did you do in the park, Dan, overall?
I did okay. There were times where I was like, oh, that felt a little different. But I had that, I don't think you ever saw it. Yeah, you did. I had that brace on, just like a compression brace, like a sleeve. I'm okay. I'm sore more from my calves than my actual knee. It's getting better. It's just, something I got.
You're not used to it. I'm telling you. Even though, I went to SeaWorld, the zoo, Knott a couple times. And
none of that. The walking is not the same. Yeah.
Yeah.
Way more walking at Disneyland. So I'm fine. It's getting a little better. It's going to be slow. It's my knee, man. What are you going to do? It's going to be slow. I figure it's going to be at least a few weeks.
I don't hit on that.
Yeah, so it's not a big deal. I
didn't
tough it out. It wasn't that bad.
A mile through a lava tunnel. I don't want to hear nothing about it. Because Rebecca and I went on a vacation at the beginning of July to Southern California, and we were going to go to Crater Lake. And, of course, we chose to do it right in the middle of the Northwest heat wave of over 100 degrees. And also right when they decided to have 5 fires up there. But besides that, yeah, we went to lava beds, and they have lava tunnels that you can go through. Boy, that's no lights, no nothing. You have to have your own lights going through there. That was an experience.
I can imagine how hot
it was. Fun, but it was an experience.
Yeah, I'd be sweaty after that for sure.
Oh no, it's nice and cool in there. In fact, we got down to one of the very bottoms, and there was a tunnel. There was a vent where there was just a blast of ice cold air coming up from somewhere deep down in the depths of the earth. There must have been a river or something down there, because it was just so ice cold air coming through this one little tunnel. And there was a railing where you had to go down, and the railing, you couldn't even touch the railing. It was ice cold.
Wow. Actually sounds pretty cool.
I wish you was that hot at Mr. Toad's, man. It actually was cold in there.
That's Lava Beds National Monument.
Yeah, it needs to be warmer in there. Hey, but speaking of it, actually, we can swing this back around. So the first thing we decided to do was to head to Fantasyland because we got there in the morning, and I kind of my thought was, well, I want to check out Snow White, and then let's get all this little stuff out of the way before it gets busy. We knocked out like 4 or 5 rides like within an hour, or pretty close to about that. Just got all those out of the way. Except Peter Pan. I didn't want to do Peter Pan.
Too when we went.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did the same thing. We started with Snow White.
Yeah.
And then we went through a few in Fantasyland, just because they were just walk-ons that early. I was really shocked that I mean, Peter Pan had a line, but Peter Pan, I think, never doesn't have a line. It can be closed and there's a 45-minute wait for Peter Pan.
Yeah.
I'm just convinced.
The only time it doesn't have a line is when the first person gets in line.
Yeah.
But then that's already a line.
Yeah, I don't even think so. I think that there's just perpetually always people waiting for Peter Pan. That's my theory. I'm like,
I think they just the rope drop and then they escort 100 people directly to Peter Pan.
Yeah, you're like, you guys are part of the group going to Peter Pan.
Out the bridge when I by the time you got there, Dan.
Yeah.
You know, because I waited a little bit. I let all the stampede go, and I was just chilling behind. And the next thing you see the bridge, like maybe right near the entrance with the Peter Pan line. I was like, oh.
I saw it. I walked by him because everybody was trying to go across the bridge into Fantasyland, and then on the right-hand side, it was just stopped. And my brother was like, "What's going on?" I'm like, "That's the line for Peter Pan." And he's like, "Is it?" And I was like, "Yeah, dude, it has to be." So then we came through, and we're like, "Well, let's get on Snow White." And then Snow White's line was kind of long too, but then the reason for that was because, well, Peter Pan's, that's self-explanatory, but they hadn't opened the queue yet. So once they opened the queue, then it started shuffling in. Because that's where we met up again there in the Snow White line. Because you were, I think, one group behind me by the time you got there.
Yeah, well, yeah, my lady got there and I just pulled in. I really thought that they were going to do it like May because of the mask mandate, maybe. And that they were just going to cut off the queue and just let them go through like that. That's what I thought they were going to do. But they ended up opening it.
Well, let's talk about that. Because we went back on the first day of the mask mandate. And they told me at parking when they scanned the parking pass that we had. Remember today is the beginning of the mask mandate, so anytime you go indoors, you have to wear a mask.
I didn't hear that.
That's okay. Yeah, they told us that, and then several times we heard people were actually in Snow White. Since that queue, the actual queue itself is still kind of outdoors. I did hear there have a lady, there's a weird little exit gate, like before the last switchback in the queue.
The one with that guy dressed up?
I didn't see a guy dressed up. It was just a regular cast member at the time when I was there. But she was telling people, out here is fine. Remember, before you get on the ride, you got to put on a mask. And I saw that on a bunch of different rides. They had people just constantly reminding you to do this, to do this, to do this. And I'm not going to lie to you, for the most part, what I saw, most people complied with it. For the most part, there's a few here and there you catch, without it. But I did hear some reminders.
Well, for the most part, people aren't assholes, but
yeah. So, but that thing. The funny thing about that is you forget too. You just forget.
At the end, when I was in Smugglers, I was pretty under the influence, and I walked all the way into the cockpit, and he was like. I tell you, I was just dazed and just enjoying, like looking at everything since I haven't seen it in a while. And I got to the cockpit, he's like, "Where's your mask?" And I'm like, I'm looking at my pockets, I'm like, oh man, it's in my backpack, because I left it in the stroller, just one in the stroller, one in my backpack.
Yeah.
And I'm like, "I got you, man. I got you." And then he pulls it up from behind, like really slick, and I was like, good looking out. And then he was like, "I see that mask in your seatbelt working good." It's like, "Yeah, I got you." And then he was, by the time he left, he was like, "Hey, I go good looking out." He's like, "Hey, have a good evening, yo."
Hey, but on the real though, that's you dropping the ball. You shouldn't have got that far without a mask.
That happened at times.
I don't care.
Yes,
I don't care how faded you are. You need to be on the ball with that shit.
But no, that's not him. That's on the cast members too.
Otherwise, you're no better than the assholes.
That's on the cast members for letting him get that far without it too.
It was all walk down, but yeah, as soon as I got to like when they were counting to see, there was maybe like 2 groups in front of us, and then them 2, they were like, "Okay, how many?" Okay, boom, 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 and then they just let me go, and then all the way to where okay, you're orange, okay, go here, line up, okay, all the way, and then right as I was boarding, they told me. I didn't realize it either.
It's interesting because I went to Knott's Berry Farm. I didn't ride much. I only rode like 1 or 2 rides. But
talk about a COVID den.
Well, you know what's interesting though? A bunch of people were masking up for like berry tails and stuff. And my husband's like, "Hey, where are our masks?" And I'm like, "Do you feel like you need one?" And he's like, "Well, no, we have to." And I said, "Wrong park." I said, "If you want it, like, here's your mask. You can wear it." I go, "But we don't have to wear it here." And he was like, "Oh, I keep forgetting." And I think people thought that because Disney came out and was like, "Hey, you got to wear your masks indoors," I think people thought Knott's did it too, because I saw a lot more people putting masks on to walk into the shops or to walk in, to go into the rides and stuff. So I think that more people are just like, "Oh, well, I guess this is just everywhere." And
that's actually kind of good to know that.
That's the part that should.
My friend Victoria, who's also got a Knott's pass during all of this going on, she was concerned about whether they were going to have people masking at Knott's because they haven't announced anything. And I said, well, Disney did it, so I expect Knott's is going to do it within.
I have a feeling Knott's will not mandate anything because it's Knott's, but I would say like 60 to 70% of people were masking up, and I was not one of them because I hate that damn thing, but. I'm vaccinated. Like, I'll take my chance. That's on me. But if it's mandated, required, if they ask me if I'm with somebody and they're like, "Hey, I feel more comfortable," dude, I'll put it on all day long. Like, that's fine. I'm not like, "No, it's my right," because that's stupid. But for me, like, I haven't been wearing it because, like, I'm vaccinated and stuff. But
that's like a couple weeks ago, I went to Sam's and did the same thing. I was like, I don't need a mask. It was in Orange County, so I was like, I don't need a mask. So I think I'll just go without just because.
Yeah, if it's mandated, like, I'm going back to DCA on the 14th. If they're like, "Yeah, I got to wear a mask indoors," yeah, cool. I got it ready. Let's go. I'll do this. But I thought it was just interesting, especially Knott's Berry Farm, right? Because they get a lot of bad press. But they
deservedly so.
Yeah. Well, you know what though? I'm gonna tell you, Disney has its own fair share of problems. I saw some guy blazing between Fantasyland and Star Wars Land.
You there that day, Michael?
Was his name Michael?
I know, were you there that day?
It's not Michael. Funny enough. I mean, and the dude was like off to the side and like not bothering anyone, and it was a vape. So like, I'm not gonna rat you out. You're like over there doing your thing. I just avoided him. But I saw a lot of stuff happening at Disney too. But Disney has, like, people are just quieter about it. There's less press. Disney doesn't have uncontrolled teenagers, and Knott's does, and it always has, because even back in the day, like, Knott's was my babysitter, and let me tell you, when teenagers don't have parental involvement and they're like off to do their own thing, they act like teenagers, and a lot of them are just, they make bad choices. Let's call them.
Let's stop talking about Magic Mountain like that. Because let's be honest, that's the be-all of teenage babysitter.
Yeah, and I was very happy. Now, again, I leave Knott's early. Like, we left by, like, 2 o'clock because it was hot. And we have passes, so we just left. So I don't know what it's like in the afternoon and evening. I think that's when the craziness really gets going later on, because that's, again, when, like, more unsupervised kids come. But I was really quite pleased with Knott's, and everybody was super cool. And because Disney has the mask mandate again, I think it carried over to Knott's Berry Farm. So
it wasn't bad, really. I mean, you just like on Pirates, like out of like the boats, coming in from the top. I'm like, maybe like 2 people had no mask, and maybe 1 or 2 had it down their nose. But pretty much everybody was rocking it. When I was walking around, only in the crowded areas, I would put it on. You know what I mean? I'm like super protective, but just to be super safe. Can
I just say that I'm sure I'm not in a minority here, that the people with the mask under their nose bothers me thousands of times more than the people who don't have masks at all. Yeah. Just because it's blatantly fucking stupid. It's like, how stupid is that? I mean, why are you even bothering wearing them? Just take the mask off. And then the people that have it as a chin guard, is even worse. But I mean, you don't see that as often, but you do see it. But it's just like, why are you even bothering? Just take the damn thing off.
Well,
it's because I mean, anybody who's gonna yell at you for not wearing a mask is also gonna yell at you for wearing it under your nose. So might as well just not have it on at all instead of looking like a jackass.
We had the chin guard a couple of times when we were outside. When we were outside and it was like, okay, I had it on, but I came outside for something, like it dropped for a minute to figure out what the situation was.
It's just not comfortable
and,
at
and it was,
all.
no, and it didn't last long. I didn't wear it there like all day. Like I don't have a football helmet on, but like
you don't.
It was for a second, or sometimes it hangs from my ear like an earring. If
I've
like,
done that.
Yeah, it wasn't bad. I never at any point felt unsafe or anything like that. I had heard plenty of cast members remind people. After we got off of Star Tours, I ran into my cast member friend, and we were talking to her, and she was like, she had said something to somebody. Thank you for wearing that over your nose and mouth, please. And then people fixing it, and so I never felt unsafe. I never did feel unsafe at any point.
I saw that. That was funny.
Yeah.
That is such a teacher trick. That's what teachers do. You turn that into a positive. Instead of yelling, don't run, you're like, walk, please. Thank you for walking.
Yeah. And that's totally what she's like and what she did when we were talking to her.
There was a couple of cast members like that, and I thought that was pretty dope. You know what I mean? There's Fantasyland, in the Batu. Somebody said something, but it was in the Batu language. I was like, what? I was like, oh, and he just nodded his head. I was like, oh, good, hey, good looking out. Yeah. There was a lot of pretty good cast members. I'm not gonna lie, I had no issues.
Yeah, I didn't have any issues with anybody at all.
I think a lot of people are just like, okay, listen, if this means that we don't shut down, if I could still go here and I don't have to wear it outside, because it's like inside you're most of the time in air conditioning. Like it's a totally different. When it's air conditioned, I'll wear a mask all day long, fine. When it's 112. That's when I'm like, oh, now I'm getting cranky because I'm hot in this
that's
mask.
What we were talking about, because were planning our trip obviously before the mask mandate got announced.
Yeah.
And so I was telling my kids, they don't have a thing like when you're outside, whatever you're comfortable with. I'm like, well, I'll be honest with you, it's gonna be hot, and I probably will not wear it outside when it's hot, because I'm not really around anybody anyway. I don't creep up on people. I don't do that. Mm-hmm. I'm like, if we're coming in a crowded area, you should consider it. When we go inside,
the same old area.
Yeah, I'm like, when we go inside places, I'm like, we're at a point right now where if I go inside someplace, I'm probably gonna put it on, and you probably should. And then it got announced like, well, you kind of have to. Oh, okay, that's fine. I was gonna do that anyway, kind of thing. And most people were, but like to get my point earlier, sometimes you just forget. Like I walked into a bathroom without it on, and I came out, and my brother was like, you do realize that, like, he's like, I don't care, but, and the bathroom wasn't busy. He's like, you do realize you walked inside the bathroom and didn't put your thing on. And I was like, oh,
because you're trying to take a piss, man.
I didn't even think about it. Like, it just didn't dawn on me, like, like whatever. Like, I was very conscious of the fact, like, on a ride in a store, but I just went to the bathroom like that. And then later, as we walked into a store for something as we were leaving, and I put mine on and my son did, and then I heard somebody say something, and it was a cast member who told my brother and my daughter, oh, thank you for, wearing your mask. And they're like, oh my God, it's, oh yeah. It's just like, well, I have it. You forget. You forget because, having spent the last couple of months knowing, you're vaccinated, you don't have to do it. They just kind of got used to that. So that's okay. But
it
no.
wasn't bad though. They made it fun. It wasn't like, hey, put it on. Oh, and Alice, when I was waiting by the exit, the cast member girl was like, put your mask on, because a lot of people, even though they're outdoors, they thought they would put it down because right before they go into the final
thing, yeah.
Yeah, and they're like, put your mask on. Hey, put your mask on. Hey, over your nose. And that slowed Alice down a lot because you could see it in batches that some people just didn't have a mask, like, period. And so as soon as, right before I got there, they're like, oh, where's your mask, ma'am? Oh, and then she just pulled it out, and I've seen her do that a couple times.
So maybe I wonder if we see I can't even think, I don't really want to say correction, an amendment to the mandate that they have that goes from being outdoors into just attractions. It should just say attractions, because you have that weird Alice. Okay, I'm coming outside, so I can take it off. Nobody, like we got on Matterhorn, right? Nobody even said anything on Matterhorn. So I don't think anybody had the mask on Matterhorn because for the most part, it's an outdoor
Well,
attraction.
yeah, I
you
wouldn't
do go
think
inside.
you would need a mask on Matterhorn.
I wouldn't think so either, but in the interest of
The
safety
amount that you're
and
inside
ease,
is very negligible. I mean, even compared to Alice.
yeah, that's what I mean. But so nobody had it on. But I also did notice. I'm like, I wonder if they're gonna say anything because I purposely didn't have it on that ride to see if they were gonna say anything to me, and they didn't. They didn't say anything to anybody. And I know it's like mostly outdoors. It is quick. It's very limited the amount of time you spend inside.
It's just that little tight ass QE space, where people rub your butt against on the other side,
Mm-hmm.
But that's it.
And that's where I had it on actually, in the switchbacks, right under the thing. It's like
too,
because it was a little tighter in there. I did put it on that.
I've been sneezed on in that ride. Somebody laughed and spit laugh, and I'm like, what the, yeah, I've had some bad experience on that line.
So, but no, to his same thing. I never, like I said, never felt uncomfortable at any point.
No, I was actually pretty good. I had a great day. It was, like I'm telling you, like Ratman, it was summer 2019. It was beautiful. I'm not gonna lie. The only rides that were packed were Indy, which when I went by there, I didn't really see it look bad.
I'm sorry, there's
30 minutes
nothing
when I walked
beautiful
by.
about summer of 2019. Shut up.
Yeah. But no, I that splash was packed because it was hot. My face is always same old time, but beyond that, everything was like smooth.
Yeah.
I didn't see no issues at all.
I think by the end of the day, even with a 2-hour break, we rode like 13 rides or something like that, and still had a 2-hour break. And we could have done more had I not taken the 2-hour break or anything. I could have got it on like over 20.
Oh, you definitely could. And then after I got off the tiki room, and then when lady's like, okay, let's go to Fantasyland, once my daughter was just ready to go. And I was walking, and I was like, she's like, oh, did you get a time for Peter Pan? I'm like, yeah. I go, that's in like in 10 minutes. And I'm like, you want to go to Snow White? I'm like, yeah. I'm like, what? Wait, I can go to the exit. And I was like, because the only ride you can't go fast is Peter Pan. You definitely need a DAS for that. And I walked on Snow White twice. I walked on Peter Pan Mr. Toad 3 times, and Pinocchio, dark as hell, twice. And I just flying around all over there, just for the fun of it. So I was like, damn, Dan left. I was like, shit, he could have got good video of Snow White like 2 or 3 times. And I was
dude, and this guy's clowning me for that. I totally didn't even mean to record. Like I just happened to have I had my phone in my hand just because I had my phone in my hand because I was still looking to see if they were going to do Indy boarding. So I have my phone, and then I was like, oh, we're about to get on this thing, and I'm like, oh, you know what? Just turn it on and hit record. So I did, and the whole purpose was I'm just going to do POV, so I'm just going to hold it like this, not move it, and just whatever the camera sees is whatever the camera sees. And then we got off the ride, and I was like, hey, that was pretty cool. I was talking to my brother, and then I was like, oh, damn. I was like, what? I'm like, dude, I just realized I filmed like this instead of turning my phone. He just laughed, and I was like, oh, big deal. No, nothing. Because I'm not going to get YouTube views. It really was just like, I'm going to record this, and I know a few people that'll watch it. No. Well, actually, if it's going to be a TikTok, that's the way to film it. Because that's the way that it's done. Yeah, maybe I will. Maybe I'll edit the video a little bit and turn it into a TikTok or something. But that's what it was. But no, like I sent it to my mom, and because my mom's a big Snow White fan, and she was like, "Oh my God!" She's like, "Now I want to go and like check it out. It looks so neat. The updates are freaking
badass, huh?
They're badass, dude. Yeah,
it's badass.
Actually,
I want to do all the rides in Fantasyland like zhuzhed up because
That's the plan, I think.
Yeah, that is the plan.
Yeah,
because they don't have to get everybody was like, no, whatever, Wokus, it's left, which I think is funny because I just think it's funny when people complain about change, but it was so good. Like now I would want to go on Snow White. Like before, we went on Pinocchio after Snow White because there was no line, there was a walk on, so we just walked on it. Holy cow. It was like the difference. It was night and day. I'm like, oh, they need to fix this one up too. Like we didn't go on Mr. Toad and we didn't go on a few others in there. We went on Dumbo because that one's fun. But we went on a Saturday. And even on a Saturday at Disney,
nobody wants it.
It was crowded. Like I'm not going to say like, oh, it was a 5-minute walk on for everything. No, it was crowded. But it didn't feel like I've been at Disney on like New Year's Eve. I've been at Disney on Christmas Day. It was nowhere near that level of craziness. It was like the longest waits I saw were for all the e-ticket stuff. Like Space Mountain at one point had an hour wait. Splash had like a 75-minute wait. But to me, those are average summer waits for e-ticket rides.
It's not a big, yeah.
No,
an hour for Space Mountain is actually
That's a good time. Yeah.
For a Saturday.
And we didn't even get over there because, like, literally we spent 90% of our day in Batu because that's what my husband wanted to do. By the way, we were day drinking at Oga's at 9 o'clock in the morning because it was a walk up and I couldn't get reservations. And I had been monitoring from the app, and they would close the walk up line pretty frequently in the afternoon when everyone wanted to go have a drink because it was 100 degrees outside. So I told Aaron when we got there, I was like, do you want to go to Oga's? Because there's like a 5-minute wait for standby. And he's like, yeah, let's do it. So we put our name in, which took like no time. And so we went in, and it's really cool. Like, it's really cool in there. The drinks were, I had a fuzzy tauntaun. Mm-hmm. And then I had their specialty drink, which was like it was like a blue mule. Both were really good. Aaron got whatever drink you got to buy the special cup.
Which special cup? There's two.
It looks beige and it's like taller.
Is it the one with the Ewoks?
It's the Ewok one. Yeah, it's the Ewok
one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably that one. And so
I still want that glass.
It was pretty, it's a very heavy glass. I love that they give you a fresh one that's all wrapped up and boxed up. I was like, that's beautiful because then I don't have to worry about it all day. And but we were there on a Saturday and it wasn't even that bad. Like, food at lunchtime, I didn't mobile order. I wanted the special coffee drink that they have in Docking Bay 7. So the mobile order was going to take like 2 hours. And I'm like, I don't want to wait 2 hours for coffee.
Yeah.
That's stupid.
It was like, that's ridiculous. So I went to the standby line. Height of lunchtime, by the way. 20 minutes? Which
that's still too long for coffee.
Well, yes, but everybody was eating lunch, and I just wanted the coffee, so I waited 20 minutes for it. And if you look, the Starbucks line was like hella long too. So I was like, I'll just wait here.
That's a whole nother Oprah.
Right. And so I was like, I'll just do this. It was really, you have to stir it. If anybody wants the coffee drink from Docking Bay 7, it's a cold brew with like a sweet cream and like Cocoa Puffs. It's really good, but stir it or else it tastes disgusting. But if you stir it, it's delicious. That's my pro tip.
I could imagine the people going, like, I see people coming out with that, and then they were just like doing it like that, and then I was like,
no, this is what you do. You get it, you take an Instagram picture where it looks all pretty, and you take a spoon, you stir it up, and then you drink it. Because if you don't, it tastes like poo.
What was it?
They have a special coffee drink at Dr. B7 that has like Cocoa Puffs in it and ice.
Shake.
Yeah, it's a cold brew with a sweet cream foam and Cocoa Puffs. And when you take a picture of it, it's really Instagrammable. Like, it's swirling and it looks delicious and refreshing, but you can't drink it in that state. Like, you have to stir it, or else it's bleh. But we walked onto everything. We got seats. He wanted to build a lightsaber, and they were like sort of limiting the amount of people who went in. And this is before the mask mandate, because we went on July 17th. But they were sort of limiting who went in there. And so I'm like, I don't need to go in while you build your lightsaber. So I found a table in the shade at like 2:00 in the afternoon.
You are lucky.
There were several.
Because one of the things about Galaxy's Edge is there's no shade in Galaxy's Edge.
Well,
nope.
Where Docking Bay 7 is, there's like an indoor courtyard seating, and then
right there by Ronto's.
Yeah, right there by Ronto's. We managed to get a table that was right next to the wall. So like when the sun was dipping, my little table was in the shade. So it was really beautiful. It was really nice. But it was a Saturday and I was shocked. I'm like, how did we manage to?
I don't know. So our Rise Pass came in about 1:00. A little bit before 1:00 is when our Rise time came in. So,
which was good.
Which was good. Yeah. So we got on Rise, and then since we were in Galaxy's Edge anyway, we were just like, well, let's just go get on Smugglers. It was like a 40-minute posted wait. It wasn't 40 minutes, but like, let's go get on that. So when we did, we got on, and then we came off, and we had to go. My son had to go log on to his online class for a little bit. So we're like, well, let's go find a table somewhere. I'm like, it's not going to be here in Galaxy's Edge, tell you that much. And we were walking through. We decided to get some blue milk. We see this crowd of people standing. There's a bridge that goes across in front of where Oga's is to where Doc Ondor's is, and there's a crowd of people right there. Why is there a bunch of crowd of people just standing here? Oh,
Chewbacca.
No, shade.
Oh.
The strip of shade that made. There were, Anthony, I kid you not, Anthony, any place in Galaxy's Edge where a building created shade, there were people in that area just sit like against the walls. Which I don't know, why is everybody just saying it? It's just because they found shade.
There's shade over in like the Resistance area, because where the trees are. I mean, I know it's not that much, but I mean that's where if I was. And
there are people sitting there too.
That's where I would go. But...
Although you know what I do like, they had they are using more of the queue for Rise of the Resistance now. Now we've talked about this on a different podcast, but that the fact that is set up to be like a 4 or 5 hour wait. They have the space for it, so they utilize some of that. Although we didn't wait nearly that long, it was only maybe 15 minutes or something like that. It really wasn't that long. But those big fans, oh man, those are lifesavers. They have those big fans on that you walk every few feet and like, oh my god, I feel this fan. And then once you go in what is quote unquote inside into the caves, they have air conditioning in there. And that at the same place, that's where a lot of people masked up. As soon as they went into the caves where it was more indoors, so they masked up. Can I just say something
real quick that we'll talk shit. We talk shit about Magic Mountain a lot, but back in the day when I had Magic Mountain passes, there was nothing better than those Magic Mountain queues with their misters.
That's what my brother said about Universal.
Yeah.
My brother actually said that. He said the one thing I would give Universal over Disney is they have misters everywhere.
And people think like, oh, it's Southern California, it's a different kind of heat from like Florida. It's hot, and this is our humid time. Like, it's been for us very hot and very humid. Matter of fact, when we go to DCA, I have already scheduled my day where I already have reservations for lunch somewhere where it's air conditioned. I've already okay, well, where can we go at DCA where there's air conditioned activities?
Animation Academy.
We went in the tiki room twice. We were dying. Like for 4 hours, from like noon to 4. I'm like, I am melting. This is hot. And yeah, Disney, certain parts of it didn't have shade. And I saw that too, Dan, when we were walking through like the tunnels or whenever there were, because to get in and out of Galaxy's Edge, there's, you got to walk through different places. A sliver of shade, and people were like sucked against the wall or sitting over there.
Another note of why Michael should have known better than to exit Zocalo through that tunnel, because shade.
That tunnel
Michael
stinks too. That tunnel smells.
Complaining and trying to
I'm not gonna walk all the way around knowing I'm just right there, and I'm like, my lady's like, go save a table, I'll get the grub. I'm like, shit, all right.
Hey, he didn't even like Zocalo.
You know who else would say something like that? Tim.
I don't think Disney has as much air conditioning areas that DCA does. I think DCA has more air conditioned spots than Disney does.
Newer.
Yeah, I was gonna say the same thing.
Stuff built in.
Were the 50s not hot? Like, was it not? Is global warming that bad?
I was just gonna say global warming.
1950s, they were like, you know what we should do? We should build these where we're just in the blazing sun, and that's fine. You're fine. Here's the
funny you should say that, considering the stories about opening day of it being so hot and the asphalt not being women's high heels were sticking into the asphalt because it wasn't completely set. And it was so hot that day, and then there's the whole water fountains thing.
Yeah, it was, it's just, I was like, Walt, you put all of this thought into a freaking ride with the jump scares. You didn't even think of things like, I don't know, people are going to be hot.
Hey, it was the 50s in California. Genius. This house I live in was built in the 50s, and it has no air conditioning. So.
Oh, yeah, that does not fly. That is not okay. in my life.
I added it to the house that I live in. It was
just a note that drink you were talking about is called the Cold Brew Black Cap.
Yes.
Hey,
it was really quite good.
For anybody who's interested.
Where we did kick it after we, okay, let's get out of Galaxy's Edge because there's just no shade here. We're not going to find anything. I was like, I know where to go. So we went behind Idlewild Snacks, and there's just that long row of table near where the Phantom Boats used to be. Michael remembers the Phantom Boats. And just that long row of tables. It's covered, so it's shaded. We just found a table over there, and then this guy had messaged me, so I was like, I'm chilling over here. So he came over there with the fam, and the table next to us had just opened up. So they sat down and everybody chilled there for a little while. Just, get out of the heat. Got a breeze coming through. Nice little area to relax if you can find a spot.
I just want to tell a quick story about the 90s at Disneyland. And Diggs and I used to, and his brother and stuff, we used to go to, when we'd go to Disneyland in the 90s, you guys remember where those phones were in the exit to Circle Vision? They had those little walk-in phones, and they had all those little couches there.
Yeah.
Where basically where the pin store is now.
Mm-hmm. Where you get to call people from anywhere.
Yeah, we used to go in there and chill on the little couches, and it was air conditioned. That was air conditioned, and I think that had been upgraded at some point. Yeah. Yeah, we used to go in there and chill on hot days.
Like the Circle Vision, they took out everything, and then you just had to stand, right, at a point?
Circle Vision was always standing.
No, but that was like the one time where I seen there was an area for like the wheelchair.
No. Maybe on the edge or something.
Yeah,
but no, Circle Vision was always standing. It was always just the rails that you lean against.
Can they bring back interventions? It was air conditioning and interventions.
You can still go in there.
Closed.
Oh, really? They have reopened it? Launch Bay hasn't reopened?
But they had a sign
it's too much
saying that it was going to be
absolutely nothing.
Yeah, they had a sign saying they were going to put something else there, like that it was going to be like something for Visa members. I don't remember. We walked by it very briefly on our way to Autopia, which I will never write down.
There's always been a Visa photo op with Darth Vader in there.
Yeah, or Boba Fett.
Oh,
yeah.
I thought it used to be just, and it has to be the Disney Visa, I think.
I got pictures with both of them without a Disney Visa, so I don't want to hear it.
Well, I think you get like front of the line.
Yeah, you get something. Yeah, because everyone at DCA
my mom did it once. I forgot what I was going to say. There was something about that, but they just need to tear down that building and do something there.
But I think, isn't it attached to like other buildings in that area? Like they can't just tear that one down without like it affecting. Yeah, like because Tomorrowland seems like it's all pretty interconnected. Tomorrowland needs a refurb in like the worst way.
Don't start.
I know.
We'll be here for hours.
Because now it was revealed that.
Speaking of other podcasts, these guys have both heard me rant about Tomorrowland for hours on end.
Yeah.
On other podcasts, and yeah, you guys don't want to get me started.
That building is connected to the restrooms.
It's not that connected.
No.
Trust me, you could totally. In fact, it's not. It's not connected to anything that's on stage. It's connected to buildings behind.
I was going to say, yeah.
Okay.
It's not connected to the bathrooms, no, because if you think about it, if you go to the left or the left of Pizza Port and to the right of Interventions, there's a gate there leading backstage, and it's totally there's no connection from. Interventions is not connected to Pizza Port.
It's just a big walkway left and right.
Yeah, there's a gate there where that's the access for vehicles coming into Tomorrowland. So no, there is no connection, but there is connection to some backstage stuff. But it would be nothing for them to tear that building down. I'm just let's get out of the pandemic, get Disney get their feet get back on their feet, and then they could tear that and Autopia out and put fucking Tron.
Autopia was so bad. I will never go on that ride again. It was horrible. I didn't.
You shouldn't.
The last time, I have to be honest, the last time I was on Autopia was in the 90s. And I don't remember it, maybe because it was pre me being able to drive, but I don't remember it being that bad. But we went on it because it was pretty much a walk-on, and so we're like, oh yeah, let's go on it. No, it was awful.
If you're someone who loves sniffing gas, it's great for you.
Well, and it kept breaking down. Like, there was cars broken down, so, like, we couldn't go. Like, we spent the majority of the ride stopped just randomly. I was like, oh, that's a pretty tree. Like, it was so bad. I'm like, I need off of this ride.
Yeah, really?
Luckily, it was in the afternoon. It was in the afternoon, so it was quiet.
My fiance worked at Autopia, and I swear her immune system decompromised just from working at that ride. She had to transfer out of that ride because I was giving her she got sick. She was getting
I bet.
She came here from Arizona where she used to get migraines all the time. Then she stopped getting migraines. Then she worked at Autopia, and now she has migraines again. She had to transfer out of Autopia and go to custodial because it was so bad at Autopia. And then she just ended up quitting Disneyland altogether. But that's a whole other story. But yeah, no, she had to transfer out of Autopia because it was so bad. And they wouldn't transfer to another attraction, so she had to actually transfer out of attractions altogether.
That was dirty.
Yeah, I don't know how people were working there. It was awful.
I don't know. It just failed so bad with that ride. They were supposed to have converted over to, in fact, what was it? Honda? Honda promised a conversion to electric engines, and then they never did it. And then they've talked about electric engines for literally 15, 20 years now. They've been talking about putting electric engines in, and they never have. And there's still a fucking mushroom cloud of gasoline fumes over there, and it's like the most disgusting area of the park. I don't even know how Michael can go over there and contribute to it.
I had a mask on, trust me. That saved me a lot, because I was like...
You're not having a mask on if you're over there blazing, dickhole.
Hey, how you think I hide the smoke? And then I
don't even know how you can smoke over there. The fumes are just so bad. I wouldn't even be able to enjoy smoking weed if I'm trying to smell all those fumes.
The Utopia companion bathroom.
You're a companion bathroom.
It is right there. It is right there.
I did Fantasyland, or not Fantasyland, Small World. I appreciate the 5-minute wait that we had for Small World.
Oh, we walked right on. Yeah.
We could all get a nice nap and some AC. It was very pleasant.
Yeah, we had our own boat too.
Oh, nice.
I think that got refurbished at some point, and they added the AC.
Oh, I love that ride. I can go down.
Because you know there's no way that it was AC inside of it when it was at the New York World's Fair.
Oh, hell no, I'm sure.
Hey, so we got on, we just had decided to get on Buzz. Because, why not? It was a short
Ryan's favorite ride.
Nope.
Man, the camera work is trash. Oh my God.
Oh, yeah.
That camera work is trash. No, well, it's never been like, when it was first introduced, oh, that's cool. Because it was one of the first rides where you got your picture taken and you could send it to yourself and all that. Man, the screens were bad. Like to even like pick your picture, and the picture itself is like, is that me? That's me. I think that's me. Yeah, it's like not good. Like at all.
It's so slow tapping it just to try to find yourself.
Yeah, that thing needs. I don't know what they're gonna do with that ride. It's probably time for something else, if not for some kind of a major update. But the picture.
That ride's staying right where it is until they update all of Tomorrowland.
Yeah, I was gonna say the same thing.
Yeah.
Was it brighter? I haven't been on it, but was it did you see it any brighter or anything like that?
I didn't notice any difference. Notice any difference? Nothing. I noticed no difference. You know what I noticed in Pirates? I did get wet. I got wet from a cannon blast.
Oh my gosh. I walked off of there and it was we were like, why are we so wet? I don't remember ever getting that splashed on Pirates, but the cannon blasts are just, they're explosive.
Oh, yeah.
I had no idea that it was this bad now.
Yeah.
You know what was missing?
I didn't like it.
You know what was missing? The spill in the tunnel was missing. Like after you pass the pirate sitting on all the gold, there's no spiel until you come into Barbosa.
Oh,
what?
No, I didn't hear nothing.
They took it back out again?
There's nothing there at all.
Perhaps he knows too much.
That's not there, and neither is the
treasure.
For years how after the movies they had the spray that had either Blackbeard or Davy Jones. None of that's there. It was a empty ride until you get to the pirate where they have that new effect that has the one side he's human on the back side as a skeleton. The two-way mirror thing.
They took that out and re-added in that dialogue back in there. But yeah, that was one of the only things I was like, oh, I'm glad this dialogue's back in here. I didn't care about any of the other changes they made to the ride back at that point, except for that was the one. But I'm like, oh, that sucks.
I like that spiel too. That's one of the best spiels.
Oh yeah,
it's a super memorable spiel.
I always was quoting it.
Oh, me too. Yeah, but no, nothing was there. But other than that, I mean, it looked clean. The donkey's back. I always look for the donkey.
Yeah.
Is the Buddha here today or not? And the Buddha was there, and everybody, like, it was clean. It was good. The line went by fairly fast. It was only about a 20-minute wait at the time, and that was on the app was at some points going up to like maybe 45, but it wasn't that long.
Yeah, that was BS the whole time.
They actually temporarily closed when I was there. Like I said, it was a Saturday. They temporarily closed the line for Indiana and for Pirates at one point during the day because it got so long that they just shut down the lines.
Wow.
But by the time I went on Pirates, it was a 25-minute wait, and it went really fast. The normal Pirates line that just keeps moving. But yeah, I was just surprised at how like they turned up the waterworks in there. I'm not a fan of that. Like I don't mind going on Splash Mountain. I know I'm getting wet, but I don't usually go on Pirates going, oh, I'm gonna leave needing a change of clothes. And it was.
You've obviously never gone on Pirates with any of us because there's always lots of water coming in when we go on Pirates from on the big drop. There's always water coming. People are always getting wet when I.
Because the boat's about ready to sink.
We got stuck
at
one time.
least you weren't there that time that we got stuck. you know that story, right, Dan?
I know I've heard it. It's not coming to me right away, but
I didn't even know, Mike. I forgot you were there. Were you in the front row?
Push!
Were you in the front row or were you in the second row?
I think I was in the second row.
Oh, that's right, because it was me, Diggs, and Jose in the front row, right?
Yeah, because we thought we were going to tip it over, but for some reason we got stuck.
No, but we got stuck at the pirate talking. It just kept talking. We weren't going over the edge. And then somebody came over the intercom and said,
move forward.
No, they said start rocking or something. And we started rocking side to side. And then they're like,
back and forth.
Oh, the other way.
Wait, so we had to do like this in order to get.
It was an interactive experience.
It was a super interactive. We had to do like this. All of us, we had to go front and back to get the boat to get over the little threshold so that we wouldn't go over the edge. Because we had so much weight in the front row.
They put you three guys in the front row.
Allowing that much weight to go in the front row.
Yeah, that's not. They should have put you in the middle.
Disney's usually pretty good about dealing with the larger crowd and like how to space people out and how to and they're really accommodating. Like I used to like to ride. My husband and I like to ride one. Like when we went on Thunder Mountain, each one of us wanted our own row just because it was easier than trying to both of us wedge into one. And they've always been like super cool about it. I'm really shocked that they didn't.
I don't know. There was another time probably about 20 years ago where a bunch of us went on Small World and they put too much weight, particularly in the back row, and we almost had water coming in.
Yeah. My brother has gotten stuck on that ride for that reason.
We didn't get stuck, but there was almost water coming in the back row. There was so much weight in the back of the Small World boat.
I have a streak of about 3 or 4 times where we were getting in the early 2000s. We were getting on Space Mountain, and as you get going, on the track after you buckle up and all that kind of stuff, if we started to turn left, we knew we're getting off this, and they have to get us off this thing because the weight is distributed incorrectly. So yeah, they bring up these wooden stairs. Oh, I've done it 3-4 times. They bring out a set of wooden stairs. I have you undo your seatbelt, have you climb down the thing, go back up to where they load the wheelchairs, and you get on right there, but you notice you're redistributed as far as like what seat number you're going to get on because it's not because we'll catch up because of the way that it drops. Like with having the weight, we're going to drop faster than the car in front of us, so it's not.
I'd
rather
have
correctly.
them do all that than die. So
Yeah. Well, we're going to run into whoever's in front of us because we're just on those downhills. It's going to be faster because you got the weight behind it. So we knew it too. We're like, we overpowered this one, so it's too much weight. here we go. Like, yeah, 3 or 4 times in a row that happened to us. Like with some of my friends, and we're like, oh, okay. The boat that we got on for Pirates was tilted to one side. I didn't notice that. And then when we got on Storybook Land, we were sitting in the front because we were the first group. We were sitting in the front, and my brother was going to sit next to me. I'm like, what are you doing, fool? You sit across from me. You're not going to be tilted like this. You need to sit on that side.
Long because it's always too long of a line.
Well, we did it first thing in the morning. It was like maybe a 5-minute wait.
Yeah,
like seriously, we knocked out a bunch of those small ones because it was like, well, we haven't been on them. So, the kids always liked it, enjoyed them as a kids, like wanted to do that. And then my daughter was like, I kind of want to ride the little Casey Jr. train. Okay, yeah, that's fine. So we hopped on theirs.
I love that train. Yeah. That is like one of my favorite rides in Fantasyland. But I can't ride in the cage because my mother, who definitely has anxiety, if it falls in the water, you can't get out. So now I can't sit in the little cage. I have to sit in one of the others.
It was just tough getting into that bad boy because that's where my son was like, let's ride in the wild animals. Okay, like barely fit in there, but okay. But then see, the next time we go,
I'm not gonna lie, that's a good damn point. Now, I mean, normally I'm in the front or back, but yeah, never again.
Well, I feel the next time that we go,
for all the times that Casey Jr. has fallen into the water.
Yeah, I know, right?
Hey,
never happened ever.
Never know.
My mom says that, and my mom always says that you have to put, as a woman, most of us had long hair, you have to put your hair up because your hair can get caught in the rides. Please tell me when that has ever happened. I would like to know.
At Magic Mountain.
Yeah, probably.
That's on Deja Vu.
Anyway, sorry.
Well, should it ever fall into the water, I'll just unlatch it from the outside and stand up. How much water is there?
Shitty food was.
That was you. That was you.
Now, you know what? I was gonna ask you. What did you eat?
I ate at. I only ate there once. Because dinner we didn't eat. We were gonna get dinner at either Galactic Grill or the French Market. Remember I was talking to you about that turkey sandwich? I would have eaten that for dinner.
Oh my God, yeah. I dropped the ball twice too, and the only reason why was because.
Oh, here we go, Michael Rantman.
No, my lady was like, I was like, she wanted to go here, and like when she went on Zocalo's, I was like, I really want to go to Harbor Gallery because the tuna sandwich is bomb as hell, or the lobsters. And
yes.
I ended up getting Zocalo's, and I should have known. And
you should have known better. How many times have we talked about Zocalo and how downhill it's been ever since they changed the menu?
Hey, Veronica talked trash on it. Veronica was the one that talked trash on it.
In 2019, the only issue I had was the portion size. It was still pretty damn decent. Like I had no.
No, I'm sorry. The aforementioned rice has been bad since like 2015. So don't even at me.
No, because I found out. Remember when I was really sick of shit that because I couldn't hardly eat anything. So when
that was 2018.
I could ask the chef that's what I do now. But unfortunately, I didn't go in there. My lady got it, and she enjoyed the burrito. But I mean, the cheese is not the same cheese. If it was mozzarella, it ain't no more. The rice is kind of hard. The beans are still bomb.
The rice has always been hard.
The cheese, for the beans, kind of tasted like a day old. Like you knew it was there for a couple of days. The breakfast at
okay, hold on. Let me stop you for just a sec. So, because I met up with him after lunchtime, we hung out for a little bit. Veronica has said it was okay, but it wasn't like the quality that it was. She really talked trash on the breakfast you guys had.
Oh, dude, it was the gross, yo. Like the pancake was like, sometimes when the batter, like it looks good, but when you bite it, the batter's all chewy and all that.
Where was this? Can you say where you were? Oh.
And
they serve breakfast?
Yeah, that's where they sell.
Well, they attempt to, apparently.
And some of that now. And when I didn't realize, when I was walking in, and I thought about it when my lady asked me, I was like, was that shit sitting there? I mean, even though the inside was just nasty, gooey-ish, like, pancake I've ever had, but she was like, did you notice anything? I'm like, there was a roll of food already ready. And I didn't think about that. But she said that the sausage was nasty. the croissant was all right, but it was getting like, like if you heat it up and throw it in a bag and it gets all dried up, it was like that. And the only good thing was the eggs and potatoes. Everything else was just gross. It was that bad.
So they bulk made it because the park had just opened, huh? And knew they were gonna get busy.
First
that had to
of
be the
all,
reason. Because you know what? I'm not gonna lie to you. You sent that to our group chat, that picture and stuff, and I thought that was really fast because we just saw him not that long ago.
Yeah.
Like because we rode Snow White together, and then we got on Toad, right? And then after we got off Toad, I told you, oh hey, I'm gonna go over here, and you're like, oh I'm gonna go take care of this, and then it wasn't even like 15 minutes later that I got that picture, and I was like, I didn't say anything at the time, but now that you're saying that, it dawned on me like I did think at the time that was really fast for him to get food.
First of all, you deserve whatever you get because the only proper place to eat breakfast at Disneyland is River Bell.
Or Plaza.
If you don't eat at River Bell, then you better be eating a breakfast Rancho Wrap.
That's what I had.
Those are the only two acceptable places to eat breakfast in Disneyland, and if you eat anywhere other than that, you deserve what you get.
I had a McGriddle.
And you know that, Michael. You know that. So you deserve it. If you want to have a gooey, gross pancake, you deserve it because you should have been at River Bell Terrace having their bomb pancakes or the waffles, or you should have been once again the Rancho Wrap. The breakfast Rancho Wrap is almost better than the regular Rancho Wrap.
I said almost.
Had
the breakfast one.
You know what? I had both the breakfast Rancho Wrap and the regular Rancho Wrap, because it was just fast and we were there. The breakfast Rancho Wrap is really good. Like I was quite shocked.
Worth getting up early for.
It was,
and that's me saying that.
Yeah, I never had the breakfast, only the regular Rancho Wrap.
Because we got up one time and went to Disneyland specifically early just to get the breakfast Rancho Wrap, and it was 100% worth it. So, like I said, you deserve your shitty breakfast because you should have known better.
Yeah, no, I had to take my medicine because I didn't take my blood pressure.
Red Rose Tavern for breakfast.
Well, he asked me what I ate. We ate at the Hungry Bear. I had a salad, Michael. That's what I had.
There you go.
No, it was lunchtime. I had a breakfast. Breakfast, I went through I had a McGriddle. We had gotten our Rise stuff, and I was like, hey, let's get off real quick and get here so I don't have to worry. That's just one less thing I have to worry about. Trying to get something to eat for breakfast, and we were hungry already, so we'd been up since 5 o'clock in the morning as it was. So we went through there. But no, I had a barbecue chicken salad. It's fine. It's a salad, and you can't really mess that up. And a barbecue vinaigrette, and I got some ranch too, and it was fine. I didn't have any complaints. It's a salad.
We ate dinner over at the Tomorrowland, whatever quick service is over there. They have like 800 windows.
The Galactic Grill?
Galactic Grill.
Probably, and it's
Terrence.
Yeah, it was. It's only mobile order, but the mobile order was like for 5 seconds, so it was like you were ordering and then you picked your food right up, pretty much. It was not great. It was really not that good. We just wanted something fast.
Crazy. It's fried. It's hamburgers. What are they going to complain? It's a hamburger. Because I was telling him, I was like, I'm probably just going to eat. My boy wants to eat there because he eats chicken nuggets and chicken strips. But I'll just get a hamburger there. It's not a spectacular hamburger, but it's not exactly horrible.
Once again, if you eat a hamburger at Disneyland, anywhere in the Disneyland resort, you deserve what you get. Because the Disneyland hamburgers are no good. If you want a hamburger, go to Black Cap or someplace like that because you're better off on City Walk, or it's not City Walk, Downtown Disney having burgers. Disneyland burgers have not been good in like 15 years.
I didn't expect a spectacular burger. I never do. I just expect, this is decent for what I paid. That's it.
I don't even know. I wouldn't even call it decent for what I had to pay for it, honestly. No. It's just like, it was not good. And so... But we were already in the park, and we had not been at Disneyland. Like, my husband hadn't been at Disneyland for over 5 years. Like, it had been a long time. So we were just kind of, like, doing a bunch of stuff. But now for our DCA trip and then our Disney trip again, I wanted to make sure, like, I'm like, if I'm going to be eating calories, I want them to be worth it. Like,
the media tacos.
So we are going to go. We are definitely doing the tacos at DCA. And then I made a reservation at Downtown Disney for Tortilla Joe's because I like to eat there. So we're going to leave and do that at DCA. But I was up 60-day window at 3 o'clock in the morning to get my Blue Bayou reservation, and I almost didn't get one. I was getting kicked out of trying to get a blue. I was like, it's a freaking reservation to a place to eat. It's 3 o'clock in the morning, and then I finally, luckily, I got one. I really like Blue Bayou. I'm interested to see if it's changed much since the last time I went, but I really like just the atmosphere and everything about it. So like that was important to me to get those reservations, but I couldn't believe how many other people were trying to get Blue Bayou reservations at 3 o'clock in the morning. And I usually like Cafe Orleans, but I couldn't, like their walk-up was even closed when we went on July 17th. I couldn't really get times. So usually I like to do sit down. Like I'm not a quick service person, but the Ronto wraps are really good. I think that if I have to eat quick service, I'm just going to go get Ronto wraps because they're tasty and they get the job done. But I prefer sit down stuff. Like that's just my preference. So yeah, I was like, and I guess I'm just used to Knott's food, which is honestly, in my opinion, better. I think they do a much better job of food at Knott's Berry Farm than they do at Disney.
For the price.
Yeah, I mean, for what you're paying.
Because you can get good food at Disneyland. You just have to pay for it.
Well, and so we just went to Knott's yesterday, and my husband had never eaten at Mrs. Knott's Chicken Dinner Restaurant, and I have heard that it wasn't that great lately. It was really good, and you get a lot of food. We have so much food. We're gonna have to throw some food away because there's no way we're gonna eat as much food.
How dare you?
I know, but there's
not far from you.
There's so much food. He got a hamburger, and it came with a chicken drumstick on the
I saw the picture. That was great. My mom went to Knott's 2 Saturdays ago, I guess now, and maybe it was last Saturday, and when she left Knott's, she stopped at Mrs. Knott's and got the full chicken dinner and brought it home for us to have for dinner. It was so good. And she even got a rhubarb pie and brought it home, and that was really good. Everything was so good.
Chicken to go?
Yeah, the chicken dinner to go.
Oh, dude, I'm gonna tell you.
It came in the bucket like KFC.
Yeah.
And there was the sides, their gravy, the white gravy is so good. We even said we used the leftover white gravy last night for chicken fried steak.
Ooh,
you know it.
Yes.
And the bread with the you get little bread with the boysenberry, and that chicken dinner was. I hadn't had the chicken dinner probably in over 10 years. Last time I went with a friend probably like around 2010, 2009 or something like that. And we had eaten there at the time, of course, but yeah, it was so good. It was just like I remembered, and I mean, I wish we could just and the price of the package is maybe only like $10 more than getting like KFC or Popeyes or something like that, and it's 100% worth it. It's just if you're already going to be down there, it's like do it, but. Yeah, it's great.
And we only waited 20 minutes. We didn't have a reservation or anything.
And
we walked up. They were like 20 minutes. What?
I bet that burger he had was bomb too.
He said it was delicious. He said it was really good. Cause you got a salad, soup, biscuits, the burger, which came with fries and a drumstick, and then you got pie. I was like, for $25? I'm like, man, you could not get this at Disney. I don't know about Magic Mountain. I haven't been there in years, but I'm like, or Universal. Like this was, and I've heard like everybody's like, oh, the food has gone downhill. I didn't think so. I thought the food was great, and just the quantity that you're getting. And it was air conditioned. We sat down.
Just a quick thing about Universal. If you do go to Universal, though, if you eat at the 3 broomsticks, you'll never be disappointed. You would never be disappointed if you ever eat at the 3 broomsticks.
That's the only reason why I want to go back.
The family feast. I can go on for hours about the family feast.
I'm not gonna lie, the fish and chips are really damn good as well. Like the meat is just tender. Oh my god.
And the bangers and mash.
Woo.
Yeah. Okay.
Stop.
Okay. Back to. I just want to say real quick, when you posted in the chat, the food, and I just saw a burger, I'm like, you went to Mrs. Knott's chicken restaurant and got a burger, but then I saw that there was the chicken garnish. I'm like, okay, I'll allow it.
Yeah, and it had an egg in it. I'll
allow it.
Yeah,
that sounds good.
I'll allow it.
I'll allow
it. I got the chicken pot pie.
That are good.
It was so good. Now, and I will say, like, okay, so I've lived in Southern California my whole life. So my mom's Italian, so I'm used to Italian food and Mexican food. Mrs. Knott's is definitely American comfort food in that you are not going to walk away with a plethora of spices. Like, if you're used to overly spiced food, which I am and I love, Mrs. Knott's, like, bring your own pepper, because it's not spiced. It's very, like, white people taste buds. That being said, super good. Like,
you're right, because as good as that gravy is, my mom still added pepper to it last night for chicken fried steak.
Yeah, and I don't know if they do that just because my dad's family was from the South, and that's a lot of where this food is. And I remember when we ate at my dad's family, it was very, like, fried and beige, and that's kind of Mrs. Knott's a little bit, like, maybe a vegetable here or there, but and that's how it was. So, but it is good comfort food, but definitely doesn't, if you're used to spicy food, not exactly, you might walk away a little bit like, oh, well.
Well, a lot of it too, I think, and what that goes for any theme park food, a lot of it is what I call the soup plantation effect.
Yeah.
And if you've been to Soup Plantation and eaten any of their hot foods, you know exactly what I'm talking about, because they have zero flavor and they taste like nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
They're trying to appeal to, like...
They have to appeal to everybody. Yeah, they need to have food that everybody can eat. You can't have, like, a super spicy curry that only, like, a select few of people that are going to be able to handle, because you can't... I mean, unless you're going to want to have disclaimers on there, it's a waste of time for them to cook food that not everybody can eat. So they have to try to appeal to everybody. Sometimes that's annoying. Although that jambalaya that they had at Wilderness Broiler was surprisingly spicy, more than I actually what I was expecting it. And I'm wondering if the tiki masala is the same way.
Well, so
you
far
say you've heard bad things. But...
I was on Instagram, and so far I have not heard anything good about that. But it was the first weekend that they had it, and I usually when they're introducing a new food, sometimes it takes a little bit before everybody figures out how to cook it. So I'm hoping it'll get better. But I was just
super shocked that the pictures that were being posted by people in Michael's food group were the pictures of the tiki masala looked 1,000 times better than the picture that Knott's had posted.
Yeah.
Because the picture Knott's had posted, it looked super pale and it didn't even look that good. But the people that were posting in Michael's group, it looked dark and it looked like tiki masala and it looked really yummy. And I was like, oh, well, that doesn't look too bad. And I'm like, I would probably have actually tried that if I was planning on going to Knott's in 1,000-degree weather. But I'm not, so I don't think I'll be trying that. We'll have to see if they tempt me with something even better when they announce this next Friday, what the next meal is going to be. But
it's not bad at Knott's. If you do want to go, if you get there, like if you're parking at 9 a.m. when the park, opens at 10, they do open the park at 9:30, so you can walk through it. I will tell you, it has not gotten unbearably hot till we're leaving at 1 or 2. So if you did want to go and just try one of the go try the meal or whatever, they open up at 11 for the foods, so you can spend a couple of hours like parking, getting a coffee, walking around, whatever you want to do, and then when they open, be one of the first people to like get your meal and get out, because we do have annual passes. Thank you, Knott's. It's really nice to go in the morning. I haven't been to their summer nights stuff for a variety of different reasons, but my friend went and she said it was great. She went the other night and she said parking wasn't that bad.
It always is.
They got in. They, they had their food, they partied, they had a great time, and then there were no problems, and then they left.
It wasn't crowded. It was everybody was dancing by boardwalk.
Yeah, see, you should know by now that I'm the type of person that I'm gonna show up. I'm gonna be like, okay, I'm gonna show up at Knott's at 6 when it's starting to cool down, and then I'm gonna enjoy myself for a couple hours and then go home.
And if you were to do that, I think that a lot of people are leaving before Knott Summer Night. I don't think that there's a lot of people staying that late. So if you were to go early in the morning or then later after the sun went down, the parking hasn't been as bad, according to her, because she went later in the day. Because Knott's parking's hit or miss sometimes.
Can I just take this opportunity to make fun of Knott Summer Nights and their Disneyland reject bands, such as the Suffragettes, which I thought was a band that was put up together by Disney, but apparently not, if they're being allowed to use that name and still perform at Knott's.
I don't know if it was a band put together by Disney or if it's just they were all playing for Disney anyway and started a band.
Right. I think that has
because a lot of them, other than a lot of them weren't they part of the Mad Tea Party? Yes. At some point.
Yeah.
A lot of them.
I love Crazy Kirk and the Hillbillies, though. I love.
No. Don't get me wrong. Crazy Kirk and the Hillbillies. That's a different story.
Yeah,
because that's Billy Hill and the Hillbillies who performed on the respectful stage at Horseshoe. No, I'm talking about the garbage that is the put together wannabe woman band that is the Suffragettes that have no chemistry together. Maybe they've gotten better. I don't know, but I highly doubt it.
I'm not a fan of Thomasina. Never have been.
And then let's. But even Rebecca loves to talk shit about how Thomasina doesn't know how to sing correctly because she was a voice major, so she should know.
Dude, she spends all her time acting like a chicken like this. She sings this annoying as hell.
Once again, like I said, Knott's Summer Nights with the Disneyland reject bands. And yes, Thomasina is another one of those that is a reject over there. I'm like, if you guys are going to get the Disneyland reject bands, can you please at least get 80s All-Stars? Jesus Christ.
Oh, man. I miss them.
Hey, some of the musicians.
Like, I would go
the
to
guitar players and stuff in those bands are really good.
Now, Thomasina's drummer, he was really good. That's the only thing I'll say
Some
about
of her
that.
guitarists, too. She alternates guitarists. A couple of the guys that were, was it the Dormouse in the Mad Tea Party band who was the guitarist? A couple of them are spot on, man. They're really good.
Yeah, and the drummer, Pat, the one who liked to wear the kilt, he was also in Mad Tea.
Badass.
Yeah. No, I mean, I would gladly go to Knott Summer Nights. I would go there specifically to see 80s All-Stars if they had them. I would go there specifically, and I know Knott's probably can't afford them, but I would go to see like the Beatles band or
the tribute one.
Yeah, or Scott Bruce.
Scott Bruce is really good too.
Scott Bruce.
Yeah.
Scott Bruce performed recently up here in West Covina, and I'm kind of sad that I missed it because Scott Bruce, I loved seeing Scott Bruce.
He was
I'm
good.
not a big Elvis fan, but I liked Scott Bruce.
He was good. He did it well.
More acts, like more bands, more cover bands, more whatever. Because like Knott's entertainment has always been good. They hire good actors. I've always enjoyed interactions with the Ghost Town actors, with the Train Bandits, with their DJ's pretty good.
There's no Wendy Walker.
Yeah, it's like I really think Knott's has a niche because they're not Disney, and a lot of people, when Disney got rid of their APs, went over to Knott's, and that's where, and I'll be honest, that's when a lot of this crap talking started. When a lot of Disney people went to Knott's and were expecting the same level, and I'm like, Knott's is not Disney. Knott's is different, and they have their own vibe there, and yeah, there's a lot of kids, and so you're gonna get some things, and also people have gone crazy and lost their minds post-Rona. Like nobody knows anymore. Everybody's out there just like losing their minds. So I blame a little bit on that, but Knott's has such a good vibe. They have food, they have entertainment. They got some rides, but I've gone to Knott's so many times and never ridden one ride and been totally cool with it. And so I would love to see Knott's do more bands, more, more entertainment. Even if they just did like 1 or 2 nights where they highlighted somebody and they're like, hey, we're going to highlight this person and put them in the Good Time or now it's the Walter Knott Theater or whatever.
Yeah, they used to.
Just doing stuff again.
Yeah, I remember back in
I
the days,
haven't
all
been
the
on a
concerts.
single ride in the whole time we've had our Knott's Pass.
So when you want
I
to go to
take that
Knott's,
back.
man?
I take that back. We went on Iron Reef its very last day just because we had never been on it. And or I had never been on it. We went on Iron Reef the very last day. That's the only ride we've been on since we've had our Knott's Passes. It was 100% just about the food.
Yeah, and you could do that at Knott's. I mean, like, we were going to get on the train the other day, but the line was a little longer than we wanted to wait because it was starting to heat up, so we left.
We've been on the train. I didn't count that as a ride, but I guess we've been on the train.
Yeah, technically it is. But, yeah, I mean, we can go there and, like, you don't have to. I feel like when I go to Disney, like, I want to ride those rides, and I feel like I need to.
Well, we're paying for it now, so we have to. Like, before we had passes, we didn't. We spent.
Before, you could ask these guys. I could go to Disneyland weeks on end and never go on a ride. But then,
how do you think we know who all the players in those bands are? That's what we would do.
Right?
You have to pay that rant man, to get on a ride.
Yeah.
No, I mean, but Disneyland though, you had rides like Pirates and Haunted Mansion, which was like when you get to the end of the night and those rides don't have lines anymore.
Walk on.
It's like walk on, enjoy, have a couple rides at the end. You could be there for hours, and then finally at the end of the night, be like, okay, hit a couple rides, and then
that's
go
why
home.
I wouldn't even show up until like 9:00 at night.
Right?
We would do that, catch the last set at Tomorrowland Terrace if I liked the band, and then ride a few rides.
Yep.
And then head home.
Or be stuck on Main Street for an hour.
We would chill. Remember, we would chill on Main Street for an hour. The park would close, and we would just be chilling. Why? Let's avoid that rush at the bus, man. Let them go.
Or wait over there for some free churros.
Yeah, I've been with you, man. Yeah.
Oh, that was the day.
I've been with Anthony a number of times where it's like we waited. We're the last bus headed back to the parking lot. Only 2 cars there, his and mine.
Yep.
Totally done that. I was
Good
going to say
old
something. I
days.
forgot what I was going to say. Oh, I think Disney's poised to bring back live entertainment soon. I think that's happening. When we were sitting there, did you notice that, Michael? When you guys sat there a little bit?
Yeah, you do know that was I think that was the first run. I think so. I think that was the first time they came back.
The cavalcade, well, I got some. So they come by with the Anna and Elsa float goes by, and they do that, and then the cavalcade of characters, which I know they've been doing for a little bit, and then the band is going through, so they stop and perform a couple of songs on the parade route. Yeah, so that's going through.
Interesting.
So I think you're going to see the return. Yeah. So Michael said, I think that was the first time that they did that. We're going to see the return of live entertainment. The characters are still distanced; they're up in different places. Although somebody like Tiana was just a chain that was separating her from the area. She was over there in front of the Mark Twain in that area over there, and it was just this little chain that separated it, and that's fine. But I think we're going to see the return of some.
Yeah, I mean, with some of the
entertainment.
princesses and stuff, and some of that stuff, I mean, they probably intentionally have held off on some of them because they don't want to have them, out there with not having masks. And I think some of the actual character entertainers themselves have flat out, I think, refused to go out there if they can't wear masks. And they'll never, as opposed to other theme parks who have put face characters out there with masks on. Disneyland Disney's would never ever in 1,000 years put a princess out there with a mask on.
No.
So
no.
I think that's it's better that they hold off on doing that stuff until you have your face actors that are comfortable being able to go out there and be without a mask. And right now, I don't know why they would be especially if they're not going to be able to open the princess.
Fantasy Fair.
The Fantasy Fair anytime soon because that's totally indoors and you're going to have your princesses without masks. I'm like, no, that's a recipe for disaster within your character, your face character complement.
Well, I think DCA has the 5 and dime. DCA has the singers, aren't they called like the 5 and dime?
5 and dime.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they have them out there singing. So DCA has that. I didn't see anything like that at Disney, but I didn't really get out much. I don't mind them
Well,
being
the band
distant.
was out there. The band was out there
Were
playing,
they?
and there's plenty of
Yeah,
spit and all that.
back.
Yeah, they're doing
I
that.
don't
So
mind them being distant. Like, I have no problem with that. Like, I have no problem with Mickey on a platform. Like, that's cool.
No.
Like, that doesn't bother me. I get it. Like, I totally understand. I don't need to hug Pluto. I'm good. But I just would like to see more interactions, more music, more to look at when I don't necessarily want to go stand in line for something, or just the atmosphere of, being, the whole point of theme parks is escapism. So it just adds to that, it's just adding to immersing you into this other place where you don't have to worry about things as much.
It's obviously too late for summer now, but I think that they're gonna have their shit together, and we'll see parades back by Christmas. You'll see the Christmas parade for Christmas, because they're gonna want to have their shit together for that by then.
yeah,
But and they may even have their shit together for a Halloween parade.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah.
For the little Halloween parade that they do for Oogie Boogie Bash, but they may have that. But for sure, there's no way that they're not going to have the Christmas parade ready.
Yeah, and I'll probably be a sucker and buy a day ticket for that too.
Yeah, I've actually been considering buying a day ticket just to go see Disney for.
Yeah, your guys are
Halloween.
suckers, all right.
Yeah. That's kind of, I did the 3-day ticket, the 3-day California resident ticket for Disney, and I feel that it was great value. I feel really I felt that was what I was waiting for. It really brought each ticket down to a level where I was like, okay, yeah, I feel comfortable spending this amount of money.
I got my money's worth out of the first day. I feel like I got my money's worth out of the first day.
Oh yeah,
for everything
same.
that I did.
And I think
I
I'm
didn't
one of
even
the
buy
few
anything.
Yeah, I think I'm one of the few people in the world who actually likes DCA, so I'm super excited about my DCA day coming up in August. I really love that park, and I know it gets a lot of it's the second-rate park.
And we're gonna be there that day together, and
Yes.
I think I do like the park, but it's still not an all-day park. So there's times in there I'm gonna spend some time in the Animation Academy and stuff like that.
Yes.
Some of the different
Well,
experiences.
they reopened up Beast Library, would look pretty cool. The Animation Academy's there. My husband would like to imbibe in some adult beverages around DCA. We have plans to go to Tortilla Joe's for lunch. So we've turned our DCA day into a much more relaxed, kind of stroll through DCA, which is why I liked DCA, because I felt like it was less of a go park and more of a kind of just meander and you're just cruising through the park. And then we have a Disney day at the end of September, when all their fall stuff is going to be up, and we can do Halloween at Disneyland. I did not buy an Oogie Boogie Bash ticket because first off, I'd either have to go to work exhausted, or my husband would, because he works the only weekend that they have a Saturday. Both weekends that they had Saturdays, he's working. And it was going to be $170 to go to Oogie Boogie Bash on a Saturday night.
How about
each? Now? And I was like, you know what? I don't feel that that's worth it.
That's how much it is now?
For a
one person?
It depends on the day.
$170?
It was a wide range of prices, but it was really expensive for some of those, because they don't normally do it on a Saturday. What was it running? Tuesdays and
it was Sunday.
Sunday and Tuesday or something.
Tuesday.
I can't remember.
Sunday, Tuesday.
Random weird days, but even then, the cheapest day was still really
$147.
expensive. Yeah. From 3 to close at DCA.
I thought it was you guys remember me ranting about prices for Oogie Boogie Bash and all that shit, but it was too much when it was $107.
Oh, and the only thing that they're getting this year is one new character maze. That's it.
And see, I don't even care about mazes.
That's what I'm saying. I was like, everybody's all hyped, because they're coming back, and I'm like, it's the same thing. And still, it wasn't worth it. I just went for the candy.
Yeah, but I can go get $107 worth of candy. You know how much more I'm going to get?
I
know you come back with bags. You know how much I'm going to come back with?
And then you always had a 50-50 chance that you wouldn't get fireworks.
Yeah. And
yeah.
you'll go to color show for sure. That's fine.
Right, Dan?
Yeah, because I would go the next day. If they didn't have fireworks that night, I'd read on Twitter. I would go to make sure I went to Disneyland the next day. Why? Because I would see the fireworks. Because they're already preloaded. That's the show that they're going to have.
Hey. Don't tell our secrets.
I got video of that, Michael, on my YouTube page.
You know what? I gotta look at it because when I was uploading, I was like, "Oh, you gotta check out your channel for your videos."
Yeah, there's not a lot there, man. You know what my YouTube channel is? It's just to get this stuff off my phone. That's really what it is.
Well,
I don't go through anything crazy. It really is just a storage spot to take stuff off my phone. Yeah, archive.
My husband tried vlogging.
Jedi Archives.
He tried vlogging. It lasted one line, and he goes, like, we were in line, and he goes, I feel like an idiot doing this.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I said, yeah. I said, you can't. Vlogging is not just picking up a camera. It's not as effortless as people make it seem. You really have to look just idiotic to anyone because you're like talking to your phone. And he was like, I don't think I can do this. And I'm like, I'm not. I'm an extrovert and I don't want to vlog in this capacity. So he's like, yeah, he's like, we're not going to be YouTube famous. I go, that's okay.
Nah, no, you're
okay
fine.
with that.
You'll live.
Right.
Anything else last minute? It's been like 2 hours. I mean, I know the whole thing's not going to make it.
I just want to promote Jungle Cruise, the film. Fantastic movie. I don't believe any of the shit you say that you read on the internet, especially if it's coming from Scott Mendelson at Forbes, because that guy's a dick. The movie is fantastic. The jokes are great. The references to the actual ride are great. The Rock's flawless delivery of the skipper jokes is just fantastic. Some of it may seem like a bit much, but in the long run, I think it's great. The references and just the homages to Indiana Jones, Laura Croft, pirates, Mummy, all of that just kind of rolled into one, and it's just fun. The only thing I could say is that I could have probably done without the German Jesse Plemons character, and that it was just one too many big bads, and we didn't need Jesse Plemons with a submarine, and that's the only thing I would probably. It's always the Germans, right? It's like, if you're not gonna, I guess if that's the, that trope.
What's the time period too?
Well, it's supposed to be during the Great War.
Yeah, so like I said, it's always the Germans.
Not Nazis, but still Germans.
It's still Germans. Yeah.
Germans.
But like I said, that's
which led to the Nazis,
my
but still.
Complaint is it just felt like that just felt gratuitous. But otherwise, it's fun. Jesse Plemons chews the hell out of the scenery when he is on screen, though. So anyways, definitely. I swore up and down that I was not going to pay the $30 for it. That I'd rather use that money to pay my A-list. But after everything, I was all ready to go back to the movies.
Yeah.
And everything. But then all this shit, Delta came down.
Yeah.
And shockingly, we canceled our A-list. And I'm like, and we knew this. We knew the. But we weren't going to keep paying for A-list
There's no point.
if we're not using it.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, when you cancel A-list, you can't re-sign up for it for 6 months. That's their catch.
Wow.
Which sucks. But
hey, but that gets you through the fourth surge.
Exactly. It is what it is. But I'm personally not ready. I'm not ready to go back. I don't want to go back to the movies until I can do it with no mask.
Yeah, this is the film.
Don't want, and if I can't go back, if I can't sit in a movie theater and watch a movie with no mask, I'm not going to do it. I'll gladly, and I got the notification the other day. We have tickets for Hamilton for the Pantages in September. We got notification. I got an email the other day, vaccination proof required to get into that showing. Thank God. That's all I say about that. Thank God. And I have no problem wearing a mask for that because that's Hamilton and that's something special. But I am not going to wear a mask to the movie theater. I'm not going to move in movie theaters until I don't have to wear a mask. So I'm like, that's fine. And once I realized that, I'm like, I really want to see Jungle Cruise that much that I was like, okay, I'm going to pay the $30. I didn't pay it for Cruella. Hell no. I didn't pay it for Black Widow. But I paid it for Jungle Cruise, and to me, it was 100% worth it. And I will watch the movie again and make it even more worth it. So
I think I may.
If anybody's on the fence about Jungle Cruise, that's just my endorsement.
I think I may do that because anything that The Rock's in is usually pretty good. His comedic timing is is really good. All those years of watching WWE, his comedic timing is really good. So I think this is out of all of them, and I haven't done the same. I haven't paid for any of them, but I think this is the one I may do that for because of the same. And this was the one that I was like, I think I want to go to the movies and see this, and then everything kind of took a turn for the worse. And I'm like, I don't know how comfortable I am with that. I don't know how comfortable my family is with that. So it's like, let's put that off, and I'll do that.
The Rock is The Rock, and Emily Blunt is amazing as usual. I don't know if you guys have
really good chemistry together.
They've dude, nothing has pleased me more for the last few weeks. Their videos during their press tour I've posted a few of them on my Facebook. Their videos and their little press things that they do together are the most delightful things that I've ever had the joy of ever watching. And you know me, I don't like watching videos.
Yeah,
I'm not a video watcher.
He's not.
I go out of my way every single time I see a Rock and Emily Blunt video promoting Jungle Cruise. I watch every single one of them because every single one of them is an absolute delight. They are so amazing together and their chemistry on screen is so amazing that it has to be the only time in his life that John Krasinski has to be like, oh.
Let's give another couple of Disney quick hits, Disney Plus quick hits. It's old. I don't really want to talk about it, but Loki was really good. You see where that's going and what that's going to set up.
Hang on, I want to say is that everybody has said it and all over. No complaints.
Yeah, no, it's been out long enough that
I don't care if we lose viewers. Silky forever. There is no such thing as self-cessed. Get over it.
Bad Batch I feel is underrated because Loki was so good, but Bad Batch is really good.
Bad Batch is fine.
Yeah.
It has good episodes. Otherwise, overall, the story has just been meh.
Yeah, you get some backstory on some of the other characters. Yeah,
and
exactly.
The parts that I enjoy about Bad Batch are the parts that other people complain about, and that's the fan service. Because you know what, I love fan service, and they could all suck it.
Okay, so we've got that. Monsters at Work is really good. If you haven't seen Monsters at Work,
it's surprisingly really good, and I'm shocked. I am shocked at how much John Goodman and Billy Crystal are actually in that show.
Yeah,
I totally expected them to be like in the first
episode, one, and they're not at all.
And then maybe have a line or two every few episodes. They're in every episode, and even at the end, you have the Mike's comedy.
Yeah,
thing where
the knock joke.
It just pleases me so much that John Goodman and Billy Crystal love those characters so much that they don't mind doing a TV show.
And there's some intelligent comedy because, when it went through when the episode where they went to a baseball game and the Green Monster and then it's got by the Green Monster, which was obviously supposed to be the Boston Red Sox and Fenway Park. I popped for that. I was like, that's funny. That's actually really funny.
I popped for the fact all of the stuff that is just obvious because everybody knows. Well, I don't know if everybody knows, but people know Billy Crystal, big Yankees fan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Big Yankees fan. Billy Crystal has always told the story about how he went to his first Yankee game with his father, and he pointed out Mickey Mantle to him and everything, and the whole story of how that led to the film 61 and all of that. And just the references to Billy Crystal's love of baseball and the Yankees in that episode was just so amazing for those that know that story and how much he loves baseball.
As a fan of baseball, that was a good episode. The amount of references they put into different stuff was really good. The Chip and Dale thing came out. It's a lot like the Mickey shorts. It's a lot like the Mickey shorts. It's funny, but it's not.
The animation.
It's not Rescue Rangers, and it's not what they could do. So I'll catch it, but it's not like.
The animation makes me want to vomit.
It's not must watch.
I don't like I've never liked the new Mickey animation, anyways. So the fact that they're just extending that animation into this series, I can't watch it. I love Chip and Dale, but I won't watch it because the animation it makes me want to. I'd rather go watch Ren and Stimpy if I want to watch animation that looks like that.
The Mickey shorts though are funny because of all the references.
They're funny, but the way it looks.
If I could just listen to
I know people are not a fan of the way it looks, but I enjoy them because of the references. And then Behind the Attraction, all of them. So I talked to Michael about this the other day when we were in line for Star Tours. They're good. It isn't information that if you're a big Disney fan, you already know a lot of that. but the way that it's pieced together is fine. And I wanted to mention this to you, Anthony. I keep forgetting. So The Rock is executive producer on all of them, as is Danny Garcia, who's his ex-wife and his business partner. But here's a name you might know, Anthony. Brian Gewirtz. Brian Gewirtz.
Oh.
Brian Gewirtz was a writer for the WWE when The Rock was there. He's the one that scripted all his promos and all that kind of stuff. He's also an executive producer. So that's pretty interesting.
One of those.
Behind the Attraction?
Yes.
Yeah.
The main producer is Brian Volk-Weiss, the guy behind the Toys That Made Us.
Which is also good. It has a very good Toys That Made Us type vibe.
I've heard it has that same format. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's really well. I saw half of the Star Tours one, and like I watched the Jungle Cruise one, and I got distracted with something else. Shocking, but they're really good. I thought that they were really well done. Like I could not get into WandaVision. I won't watch it, and I haven't watched The Falcon and Winter Soldier because they're boring to me. I know, sacrilege, but I loved Loki. I really enjoyed the Behind the Attraction.
You don't have to be a Marvel fan to enjoy Loki.
I'm not a Marvel fan. Yeah, and so Loki was just good. But I think, Dan, that you bring up that the wrestling team is involved. Like, I loved the WWF, and then I watched it into the WWE years. I loved The Rock. I loved his storyline. I loved how he was just like, he really was a good guy, but like he had that, heel kind of persona that came out. And now that you say that his writer is on that show, it makes perfect sense as to why I would really enjoy watching it.
Yeah.
Because I recognize that, but it was really well written and scripted. I love the fact that The Rock is getting more involved with Disney. I think that's great because I think that not only does he seem like a genuinely nice human, he is such a good entertainer.
How's his tequila?
Gets it. Oh, his tequila is so good. His tequila is so good. I watched a bunch of the vloggers who went to the Terramana Mobile, and they all raved about this tequila. And so I went to Target, and I had a pair of pants, and then I found the tequila, and they were the same price. So I put the pants back and took the tequila.
All right, so that's his tequila?
It's his tequila.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. Because speaking of
right here, but
speaking of Emily and Rock things, did you guys see the video of them drinking it?
No, I haven't seen it.
The shots?
Oh, it's on my Facebook. You go back and look for it, Dan. It's not that far long ago. They're just drinking it. You could see them slowly getting drunk. And you can see it at some points, The Rock just fading off. And then Emily fading off. And at one point, Emily needs to get up and go to the bathroom, so they just both decide to get up and go to the bathroom and end the spot. It's so great. You just go back and watch it.
Okay.
And his tequila is very, like, I'm going to be honest with you. Tequila, it's either disgusting or it's like you got to buy the top shelf to get anything good.
In other words, it's either Cuervo or Casadores.
Pretty much. But I'm going to be honest with you. The Terramana tequila, I just mix my alcohol with flavored water, and that's it. I don't mix it with any other mixers. And this tequila is so smooth, and it goes with just the flavored water without it being too strong. It's really good. So, yes, The Rock is good. I don't think The Rock has done anything that I haven't loved, and he's beautiful to look at. Let's all just take a moment to look at the beauty and that he is. He is like a specimen of gorgeousness. It doesn't matter which way you swing. He's good looking.
And he's charming.
Yeah, highly.
I mean, we've already known for a long time that he drips with charisma. Like he drenched in charisma, but he's charming, and that's something that we didn't really know how charming he was in the WWF, the wrestling days. But now you just see, especially in the interviews, he's so charming and such an amazing person. And I'm looking so much to Black Adam.
Oh, heck yeah!
I can't wait for Black Adam. And then if him and Zachary Levi end up getting to do a movie together with
Shazam. Yeah, which is underrated. Shazam is very underrated.
I want to see them two and their see what kind of chemistry they could have together, because Zachary Levi has had his problems with certain things he said, tone deaf things that he said, but Zachary Levi is another person that has really great charisma. I mean, you have to be Flynn Rider. So I mean,
yeah. So I think that'll do it. We're coming up on 2.5 hours of us talking, but the podcast won't be that long.
Just one more quick thing. If you guys haven't seen the disassembled episode of Loki, that one was really good.
Oh, I saw that the other day. I was going
I know what you're talking about. Okay, yeah. I need to go on and watch Raya, man. I still haven't seen Raya. I had started.
Raya's so good.
I haven't seen that either, and I heard good things about it. I need to watch that too.
As soon as I go back to work this week, I need to get it done.
Can I just say that while a few years ago, you guys remember from the other podcast how a few years ago it was the time of Lupita Nyong'o.
Mm-hmm.
It is the time of Awkwafina, and I am glorying in it because Awkwafina, like The Rock, is so hilarious and she's so likable.
Yeah.
At everything, and she is in so many things right now. Because she's the dragon in Raya. She's coming up in Shang-Chi. Of course, her second season of her show is coming back this month, which I can't wait for. Nora from Queens. If you guys haven't seen that show, you guys are missing out on a super funny show.
And that movie's coming up soon, huh? Shang-Chi, like in a
Shang-Chi comes out in September.
Oh, okay.
Marvel's got a lot coming out soon.
On the 11th, What If starts.
There you go. Ooh, and that's the animated one, right?
Ready.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I loved those comics as a kid.
That on November 24th, Hawkeye starts. So we just have to wait on the news of when Ms. Marvel is going to be, and then we'll be set for the rest of this year on Marvel.
I think Black Widow might be changing though after the events of last week. I don't think Scarlett Johansson is ever going to work for Disney again.
Can we just talk about that real quick? Because I just want to say that a lot of people are saying, a lot of people are opinion as a whole, well, who cares? She's wealthy actress versus wealthy company. That's not the point.
No, it's contract.
It's the precedent.
It's the contract.
And Emma Stone just popped in, and she's also joining in.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't be surprised if Emily Blunt also joins in.
I got to be honest. I kind of hope they win for contractual reasons, and contracts should be upheld, and that stuff needs to be gone over, and it needs to be discussed. I don't care if they made $5 million or $5. Your time is valuable, and your contracts need to be upheld. So, like,
as union members, we understand that.
Yes, 125%. And so, personally, if them and their lawyers feel that they have a case, then I hope it moves forward.
Right.
That being said, Disney holds a grudge. So she knows what she's doing, and I just doubt we're ever going to see her in that capacity again.
Or
but
Emma,
I grew up watching soap operas. Let's just say you can change an actor or an actress. Remember the Roseanne show? One week it was one Becky, the next week it was a different Becky.
And it was a joke.
Yeah, and they just wrote it in as a joke. But yeah, I don't think Scarlett Johansson, and I think that we're gonna see a lot of craziness.
Well, let's just say that none of them. I mean, unless there was obviously maybe plans for a Cruella sequel, or maybe a Jungle Cruise sequel. None of those people have any reason or had any plans to come back anyways because, well, Black Widow's story was over. Unless, of course, the multiverse would have created another opportunity for Black Widow to come back. But good for them. Good for them.
Yeah.
Good for Scarlett, and then good for Emma on also joining in. And like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if Emily does the same thing.
Yeah, if they go to court, Disney's going to fight. I can tell you that.
And I love how Disney came out and they're like, we're so disappointed. Really? Well, I'm disappointed in you too, Disney. You kept all the people at the top, forced a bunch of people to retire, and then let all of the sad cast members who are living in their car go. But that's
they had the nerve.
Disney had the nerve. Scarlett.
Disney had the nerve to cite COVID, that this is not the right time to be doing this because of COVID. They had the nerve. And then they had the nerve to disclose Scarlett Johansson's wages which I believe is also a breach of contract on their part to disclose how much Scarlett Johansson made for Black Widow.
Was it like $500 million or something like that?
It was $20 million.
Oh, okay.
I can't believe it was $20 million.
You know what's going to happen here is that's going to make Disney disclose how many people actually bought it, which they have never done, because if you notice, Disney and Netflix, they never release numbers.
Right.
So if you do that sets a precedence for those two companies to have to release numbers to pay royalties on that stuff. And we do, as union members, like I told you, we watch what goes on with other unions in our profession because that sets a precedence for what's going to happen with ours. It sets a precedence for what can you get away with that you shouldn't be. Because of course no one saw this. No one saw this coming when you signed contract, but the writing in there needs to be adjusted to the fact that, like, well, we didn't do it this way, so technically, is that breach of contract because it wasn't released in this fashion, or you found another way to make money, so release numbers and let's see if we can come to an equitable way to compensate for that. That's going to be what we see going forward. Because now, when that happens, now everything going forward is going to be like, well, it's going to be like this, but if HBO should be in the same thing because HBO did the same thing. HBO did, we can't release in movie theaters, but we've got to do this. So if anybody has this in their contract, it has to be.
I heard that Warner Brothers renegotiated everybody's contracts to include streaming stipulations.
Well, that doesn't bode well for Disney if that is the case.
That's what I heard. I heard that Warner Brothers renegotiated all the contracts to account for that.
Right.
So, that's super bad on Disney if Warner Brothers set a precedent for doing that. I mean, obviously you have some directors that are still pissed off. Christopher Nolan is still big mad about Tenet. And I know that Villeneuve is very, very unhappy about the prospects of Dune going straight to HBO Max. But it is what it is. You deal with what the cards that you've been given, and you at least be happy that the movie's going to be out there in theaters, even if it's also going to be at home. There's going to be obviously there's still going to be the people. I mean, Jungle Cruise made 30-something million. Is going to do probably about 30-something million
over the weekend.
For the weekend, which is going to be number one
during a pandemic, man. That's
I heard they were already number one. They killed it.
Well, that's what I mean. It is number one. I think I saw that they did 13, only like 13 on Friday. But I mean, still that's pretty good considering.
I'm like, was that the reason why the park wasn't that bad?
Because everybody was
good to get out.
Well, I'm going to end this podcast here, and I'm going to say see you later.
See you real soon.